Crisis for the geek kind. Top geek officials admit they underestimated the hipsters' defense capability. Join the geek revolution and save the galaxy. Geeks from all over the globe are joining up to fight for the future. They're doing their part. Are you? Want to know more? Join We Be Geeks and the Geek Revolution and save the world. Service guarantees citizenship. Listen to We Be Geeks podcast on iTunes and Stitcher or online at webegeeks.net. We Be Geeks, your voice for the Geek Revolution. Want to know more?
Geek Speak, the definitive 365 cut. These are the meaningless ramblings of a Scottish redone whore and a pissy ex-video store clerk. Their ongoing mission is to set right the movie wrongs. They're gonna need a bigger podcast.
Yes! 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 Yes!
That was awesome. Oh, you're listening to the 365Flicks podcast, and that was Daniel Bryan introducing us.
That was Daniel Bryan.
He's actually in the studio with us right now.
I kind of wish he was. Like, he's probably got a lot of spare time.
I know, bless him. We'll get to that in a second.
I know, you mentioned that, and you seemed really cut up about this
I
whole
actually
thing.
was.
So
I actually really was. So yeah, this is a massive episode 30 for us.
Yeah, we have jumped in a DeLorean.
Who knew? Yeah, we're a little bit wibbly-wobbly timey-wimey, and I'll tell you for why. We're recording this on Sunday night, but we're also recording tomorrow night, which is going to be our live blab.
Our new show.
Our new spin-off show, which is...
Spin-off companion.
Excited, if anything.
Yeah, for those who don't know, last week we done our first premiere episode of the Talking Heads,
yes.
The officially unofficial Walking Dead companion show, because fuck Chris Hardwick. Didn't take me long to get that one out there.
Didn't it?
We do that on a site called Blab. If you don't know what Blab is, it's basically chat roulette but with less cocks on the screen. So we jump on there. It's kind of like a little Skype room. There's me, there's Chris, and there's our pal Hayes came on because he's like a Walking Dead comic book enthusiast, and we just get on and we just give you an almost instant reaction.
Literally within like half an hour of it finishing.
Half an hour, which I couldn't believe because we had technical difficulties.
We did, yeah. But it was cool. I was a little bit nervous about, the whole live thing and everything. Yeah. We can do that shit.
Yeah, we nailed that. And the good thing about that is you get the little chat room at the side that people can comment, and we had a few people commenting the whole time.
So what was the best one?
Basically, the woman who said we were like better than the Talking Dead. Which, to be
fair,
it's
not difficult, but
it's not difficult. It's still a nice compliment. She
says
for
our primary episode, I'm quite happy with that. But then you see, it's it's like related to the Walking Dead, so it's going to be all downhill from there.
Yeah, it's going to be downhill from there. Probably hear that second episode before you hear this episode, unless I really try and mess with people and go from like 28, 30, and then 29.
Oh, you can't be doing that.
I don't know. It might be a good way of just like really messing with people's heads.
Seeing who's paying attention and stuff.
Yeah. See if we get any complaints, any rants.
We'll see. This is episode 30 anyway.
This is episode
30. But
before we do that, the Blab thing, Monday nights, 10:30, we're going to be jumping on UK time, because really I shouldn't say 10:30, should I?
You shouldn't say 10:30. You confused the Americans with that.
The Americans really...
It's 10:30.
10:30. 22.
Is that American?
22:30, 100 hours.
Yeah,
so if you want to jump on and have a listen to us. You can hit us in the Skype room in the chat bar at the side, and then at the end there's a fourth seat that we open up and we try and get some guests in. It flopped like a turkey last week. I mean, Imran came in and gave us a hand out.
Cool.
That weird guy with the John Cena spinner belt came in. Hopefully, as the weeks go on, we'll get some more people. If Big Dev comes on and he decides that he wants to listen, if his satellites are in alignment, but really,
he could only hear me speak.
It was almost like he had me muted, and he was just listening to you because you're the Marvel fan.
I'm the Marvel fan, and who else are you going to listen to?
So anyway, that's the Blab covered. That's going to be our weekly show.
Yeah, so look for that. We'll every Monday we'll be putting links to it on Facebook and Twitter. Look for that on the Facebooks and the Twitters, and all you need to do, it's nice and easy. You just click on the link, and then we'll be there all speaking and stuff.
Blabbing
away.
Blabbing on Blab.
Who knew I'd ever do that?
Well, exactly. This is like a huge fucking milestone for us. Like, you were like, I am not going on Twitter because you need to have a Twitter account. I am not going on Twitter. I will never do Twitter. And I'd say, oh, well, Chris, let's do a live episode. Let's get this done. Let's have a go at the Walking Dead thing. And you were like, okay. Now you're hashtagging sumbitch.
I'm fucking not hashtagging sumbitch.
Nice little segue there. Talk about sumbitches. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the wrestling, Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Did you edit that?
Did you?
6 Degrees Kevin Bacon.
Impressive. Most impressive. Mm-hmm. Did you watch the retirement speech?
I didn't. I have watched it on YouTube. I didn't watch it when it happened, but I've watched it on YouTube.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
It was very good. Yeah, you know what? I'm not ashamed to say I did well up when I was watching it. Shut the fuck up.
But he's the everyman, isn't he? So you're supposed
that's the thing. I love Daniel Bryan. He's an awesome wrestler. He's just fucked. He's
been in and out for the last...
Well, that's it. I mean, you know, the last two WrestleManias, he won a title.
Yeah.
The world title, and was it WrestleMania 30, then the Intercontinental at 31, and he had to give them both up because of injury. And this is not fake, by the way, people. He is actually...
Oh yeah, this
injured,
is like a severe thing.
So for all you, we know it's scripted. We're not fucking idiots, but this guy is actually genuinely injured. So
is this a thing that's in question? Like, are people actually questioning this? Because
I read on the Facebooks.
Some people,
I follow assholes. A few wrestling pages,
and
a few people had said, "Oh, it must be a story. It's all fake. It must be a story." Fuck yourself with that.
Yeah.
So it was a touching speech. The guy has had to give up his career. I'm sure he'll still be in WWE in some format.
Oh yeah, the thing is he's quite good on the mic. He is quite good on the mic, so you never know if they ever decide to get rid of those two old crotchety assholes on the announce table.
I'd be happy to see Daniel Bryan on there.
Could he be the new coach?
Why
or
not?
The new Michael Cole?
He could be the new Michael Cole, because fuck Michael Cole. Yeah, so we're kind of... So because Daniel Bryan did that awesome speech on Raw about 2 weeks ago or something like that?
2 weeks ago now.
We kind of decided to bring in a top 5 that we've been meaning to do for quite a long time now.
We have, but it's a hard top 5 to do.
This is the hardest top 5 I think we've done.
I don't think I've put as much thought in as you because I've had a pretty shitty last couple of days. I've got a top 5, but I didn't struggle with it.
Better not be all willy-nilly.
I didn't struggle with it.
See, I really struggled with it.
It's literally...
Honestly, I had the list on my phone, and at one point there was about 25 on the list. But yeah, I just kind of had to sort of shed a tear and remove that one, and then and then I made the mistake of watching a couple of Daniel Day-Lewis movies last night.
Oh, you can't be doing that.
So, for fuck's sake,
you can't be doing that. So yeah, as the man says, the top 5 tonight is going to be like our top 5 monologues. We'll be getting there. In a little bit. We've got news to do first. So before we get into the news, I just want to remind everybody we are on Twitter. We're on the 365Flicks pod. We're on the Facebook. Just look for 365Flicks.
And you can also get me on Twitter. That's right.
Yeah, you're on Twitter now.
I know.
This is awesome.
What the hell is it again? Chris
365Flicks.
Yeah. If you wanted to.
Well, people seem to be responding to you more than they respond to the page.
It's because people like me.
Do you think it's like because it's like, ooh, Chris has given in, it's all shiny and stuff. Wow.
But he's a sellout, he'll do anything.
People are just shocked to see you on there, so it's like, you know what, if we don't message him, he'll just leave. So they just message you all the time now. Yeah, Chris is also on there now. I'll just speak to you on the Twitter, the official Twitter and all that. We're on some pretty cool networks that you heard the promo at the start because we can't play Musings of the Geek anymore.
Unfortunately not. Still
a sad one. Did you listen to Graphic Novice?
No, I've not yet. I've been a little bit behind with my podcast this week because I started listening to those conspiracy guys. And their episodes are like fucking 10 hours long these days.
They are epic.
So yeah, I kind of fell.
Well, you need to get on the Graphic Novice episode when they said goodbye to Musings of the Geek. The bumper that they played. Cause,
you sure you let me hear it?
You know, Nichols like roll a bumper. Like it is It's really, I mean, VF, hats off to you, man. I said it on the Twitter. I put my hand out and I was like, well done, bravo, fucking kudos. That was a wicked bumper. But we're no longer on there. Well, we're still on there because it's not gone, but we just won't be refreshing anything, you know. But you can find us on the Tangent Bound Network. You can find us on the Wicked Radio Network. There's some awesome podcasts on there. You can also find us on Weeby Geeks, which is the promo for the start. You can find us on nerdly.co.uk, which is our British home, Geeky Antics Network Global. I was going to let you say it there. I was going to let you.
I always fuck it up, so I'll just let you say that.
I was going to let you, but I feel like I need to pimp that one hard right now because I kind of joined the group, the Elder Scrolls Online group, and I'm not really playing the game very much.
Oh, you got into Arkham Knight, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm playing Arkham Knight big time.
Why were you whispering that?
I don't know. I just felt like whispering. So that's all the places you can kind of find us on the websites. You know, you've also got us on iTunes, Stitcher. We're on the Satchel app. We're on. You know, just type it into your Googles. You'll find us. Get yourself onto the Blabs. You'll find us. All those episodes are going to be in our iTunes feed anyway. It's just 365Flicks. Listen. So let's just go to the news.
Yep, let's go to the news. So what have you got first?
My first bit of news is I feel this is becoming like a bit of a tradition on the show now. And I keep bringing it up because I know that you're not really giving two shits about it. But we got some Triple X news.
Oh, Jesus. Yay.
Yeah, Triple X3, Vin Diesel's The Return of Xander Cage, I think it's being called, has cast Donnie Yen. Because if you remember, they got Tony Collette in the last episode we did. They'd cast Tony Collette. And I bring it up because I just like to jibe you a little bit. So yeah, Donnie Yen from the IP Man franchise. He's another ass kicker like Tony Jaa and Iko Uwais. He just kicks ass, you know. So yeah, he's joined Triple X3, and I just want to bring that up because, you know, did you also see the promo picture for the Guardians 2?
With little Groot on?
Yeah, that was pretty cool, wasn't it?
I do still kind of want a little dancing Groot thing.
Do you think he's only going to be little in the movie, or is he going to be fully grown in the movie, or?
I don't know.
I don't know how they're going to do that. We did get some cast news for that as well. I didn't write anything down for it, though.
Just Kurt Russell, isn't it?
Yeah, Kurt Russell's
the biggest name. Yeah, so we spoke about Daniel Bryan there before. It's Fastlane is on tonight. We're not really going to speak about it too much because, like we said before, we're all timey-wimey, so it'll already have been on by the time we do this. But I think that it's pretty shit. The lineup for it is pretty shit.
The lineup
really.
is pretty pants.
It's because it's like, you know, it's like the last Harry Potter film before they get to the last one. It's whatever. It's just like sort of filler until they get to WrestleMania now. But we've got a triple threat match to see who's going to wrestle Triple H at WrestleMania between Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose.
Ambrose all the way.
Ambrose all the way.
Agreed. If it's, did you watch the What Culture Wrestling with Adam doing
I did.
His prediction? Well, not his predictions. How he should book WrestleMania. Ambrose winning Fastlane would just be awesome.
I would be happy with that.
I also love the fact that he had Ambrose winning the title at WrestleMania as well. I absolutely love that.
He does, you know what, he really does good videos, and I'll tell you for why. Is some of the shit that they've been putting out there this year doesn't even go close to the stuff that he's coming up with.
Yeah.
He should be in the creative.
Well, if you watch Tyrone Magnus, he says that at the end of every video.
Yeah.
He keeps doing the reaction videos, and he's literally at the end of every video, he's like, WWE, creative team, get this guy, get this guy.
I've seen him say that before. I've watched a couple of videos of his. So yeah, it's this weekend, tonight actually. That's really the only match that I'm bothered about, to be honest with you.
My big thing, because another damn wrestling show put it out there earlier saying who wants who to win and all this kind of thing, and I said my list. Obviously they weren't very keen on me thinking Jericho should be AJ Styles.
Oh, fuck you with that.
I just don't think AJ Styles should be winning Fastlane. They've brought AJ Styles in and they're making a huge deal about getting him. Just let him lose Fastlane and then get him at WrestleMania and just win that shit, you know?
No, he needs to. Well, you see, that's the thing. Everybody's saying that they want AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens for the Intercontinental.
Well, that would be cool.
Title at WrestleMania. It would be a good match, but I don't want Kevin Owens to lose the title. So
he might not against AJ Styles. But my main gripe was, because obviously I gave him my list of winners. I said Kalisto should beat Del Rio because I don't care. Owens because it's Owens. The Wyants because fuck Ryback.
Yeah.
I said Charlotte, and then I was like, well, wait a minute. Why is there two Diva fights? Are the injuries that deep in the company right now that we're having two Diva fights?
No, the Divas are
I know the Divas are getting there, and they're becoming like a big thing now. They are.
Yeah, they are.
There's a revolution going on. But the second one is a tag match.
Yeah, I don't really know what they're doing there.
It's not for anything.
It's
just a stupid fight, to be fair.
We want Charlotte versus Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
For the title at
they're
WrestleMania.
obviously saving that for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Styles versus Jericho, I just want to see Jericho break
No.
the walls down. I still love that intro. Best intro
he's
ever.
Old.
Oh, he's old as hell. Like, in the last pay-per-view I watched, I was sat there going, holy shit, Jericho's still alive? But yeah, the big fight is Brock, Reigns and Ambrose. I'm still a big fan of Roman Reigns. I still like Roman Reigns. I know everybody's got beef with him, but for me it's Ambrose all the way. Ambrose.
You like Roman Reigns?
I don't mind him.
Really?
I don't mind him.
His hair's all greasy.
They just keep giving him the wrong thing to do, and they never. It's like he says on What Culture, unless he turns full badass heel, nobody's going to give a shit.
Yeah, I did
about
actually
him.
like his idea of that.
Well, yeah.
Have him go full on heel and then sort of do matches with Ambrose for the title. I like that idea.
I love the fact about those two going up against each other. Plus, you know that if anybody's going to give Reigns the fight that everybody in the crowd wants to see, if anybody's going to give him that, it's Ambrose. Because he's just not bothered. He's such a fucking awesome badass.
Yeah, he is cool. He is cool. And he's basically you.
Is it because I threw the popcorn at you at the cinema?
That's what's...
Well, stop making me get my own popcorn.
I didn't make you. You've fucking got your popcorn served to you?
Yeah, but that one time that we went...
This was Star Trek, yeah? Star Trek from, like, bloody 2008 or whatever.
Yeah, it's the first Star Trek.
Yeah.
You should not be going to a cinema, buying a ticket, buying your bait, buying your popcorn, buying your juice, having to go and get your popcorn yourself. If I'm paying you to give... I'm sure we've covered this on an episode.
I think we probably have.
If I am paying you for popcorn and juice, you best believe you're going to get me that popcorn and juice. So, San Andreas 2, talking about the wrestling.
Yeah.
The Rock has... he's come out and San Andreas 2 is on its way. Pumped?
I'll watch it.
Don't do the... Yeah, America at the end again.
Yeah.
I love that film, though.
I love the movie. It was a good movie. I don't really think it called for a sequel. They're saying it's going to be like the Ring of Fire in the Pacific or something like that.
It's all about the volcanoes and stuff.
Right, okay.
I did kind of, when I did read it, I kind of sat back and I was like, really? Like you say, were we looking for this? I love The Rock and I love San Andreas, so... Yeah,
I'll watch it.
As long as they don't do the American flag draped over the bridge again. Because if they do that again,
we forget American flags all over the damn place.
We were watching, me and Lindsay were sat watching Olympus Has Fallen the other night, because you know I love Olympus Has Fallen, and we're going to go and see London Has Fallen on the 3rd of March, so expect a review on that. But, by the way, Deadpool review coming later. Didn't cover that.
Did we not?
No,
I thought you said that.
Deadpool review coming later on. So if that's what you're here for, because it'll be in the title, if that's what you're here for, just skip ahead. We're going to go and see London Has Fallen. And I turned around and I says to her, you know that there's a scene in the movie when they've just taken over the White House and the Chinese guys or the Koreans or whatever they are all get the American flag on top of the White House and they throw it over the side.
Oh yeah, it falls to the ground in
and
slow
there's
motion
like a
and stuff.
slow motion fall. And I turned around to Lindsay and I was like, do you think in London Has Fallen we'll see anything like that? Like somebody throwing a Union Jack off the Houses of Parliament or something in slow motion. And Lindsay, God bless her, like straight away was like, well, yeah, of course we will. Do you think we are that patriotic that in a movie like that we would give two shits if somebody threw the Union Jack off the Houses of Parliament?
No. It would be a bunch of people going, way! Yeah. And you know what else it'll be? I'm actually not looking forward to that at all because it'll be a bunch of fucking American version of London where it'll be all fucking guys going, apples and pears! You know?
They'll all be talking Guy Ritchie language.
Yeah. Like, I'll cut you first! And all that kind of thing.
Slag.
And also, by the way, I've got a little bit of beef. Is it in the last episode of Hobie? I can't remember why this came up, but Jason ended up saying that From Hell is a good movie.
The Johnny Depp movie?
Yes.
No!
What the fuck?
No. In fairness, in his defence, was he not on about how it was like a good adaptation from a comic book graphic novel?
No, he said it was a good movie and the comic book was good as well.
Well, the graphic novel or the comic book probably is good. The movie's fucking terrible.
You know, it's on Amazon Prime.
That says it all, really.
After I listened to this week's Hobie, I saw it on Amazon Prime. I thought, I've only seen that movie once. Did I actually sort of give it just sort of go brush it off, kind of thinking, oh, that shit. I rewatched it.
Really?
Yes. All of it.
Not for the purposes of the show, you just rewatched it?
No, for the purposes of the show, obviously.
Oh, right.
Because I'm dedicated like that.
Right.
But Jesus Christ, it's fucking awful. It's just Johnny Depp doing it. I mean, I like Sweeney Todd, and he does the same more or less the same Cockney accent as he does in that.
The thing
but
about...
there's a scene where he's just speaking to a guy, and he's going, I'm going to sound like fucking like a prick now. If you think...
if you think.
You know, and Yeah,
because we all say think.
That's what the whole of the UK speaks like.
That is exactly what the whole of the UK... I mean, the thing about Johnny Depp's British accent is the fact that in Sweeney Todd he gets away with it because he's singing most of the time.
Yeah.
And it's probably easier to sing in... Would you say it's easier to sing in British? I mean, Adele hides that fucking hideous natural accent of hers when she sings. When she talks normally, it's not good, to be fair. We're never getting her on the show so we can say it. No, From Hell's... It's
an awful movie.
It's a poor movie.
It's really, really bad.
I heard him say that, but I honestly thought he meant as in a conversion from...
The way I picked it up was... he said that it was a good movie and the novel was good as well.
Right. Well, the novel.
He called it a good movie. So you just
so that's
you want to be
enough
ashamed
for
of yourself, Brigger. That's just piss poor.
Piss poor crack. So what do we make of Julianne Moore? She's been cast in Kingsman 2.
Has she been cast yet? I thought it was just like a rumour.
No, she's
actually been cast.
Apparently she's been cast as a villain.
Okay. I like Julianne Moore. I'm a fan of Julianne Moore.
I like Julianne Moore, but it was when it said, like, I thought, oh, cool, Julianne Moore in Kingsman 2. Like, good replacement for Colin Firth. But then it's like, wait, villain? Have we seen Julianne Moore really play a badass before?
She was a villain in, what was that movie with Vin Diesel? The one that was all Lord of the Ringsy?
Jesus.
Wasn't she the villain in that?
You said Vin Diesel and Lord of the Rings. The only thing I'm thinking of is The Last Witch Hunter.
That's the one.
Is that the one?
I think so.
I never watched it.
I just listened to We Hate Movies talk about it.
They made me want to watch it. That's the first time they've done a review and I've actually wanted to watch it afterwards and thought, I bet I enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I mean, as long as they're not going to have her try and do all action stuff and that, but I can't imagine them doing that, to be honest.
My big thing on that, though, was the fact that I didn't realise that this was actually a thing, that Colin Firth, they were trying to squeeze him into the movie somehow. Like, they've been thinking for the last, since the movie ended, how do we get Colin Firth back? Now they're saying that he's 100% not coming back. Spoilers, but a bullet to the head is gonna... You're not coming back after that, are you?
No.
So how did they expect to get him back? Unless it was
Is that just like a fan theory?
No, apparently the actual production company or whoever, the director, they would campaigning hard to figure out how to get him in it.
Right.
And
Nah, that wouldn't have worked. That would have been shit.
No, it wouldn't have.
If she played a character similar to Sam Jack, which is like the mastermind and
with a lisp.
No, not with a lisp.
How long into the movie was it before you forgot you had that lisp?
The first time I watched it through, I was really distracted by it the whole way through the movie.
Yeah, I was.
But I've seen it I've seen it 4 or 5 times now. And I fucking love it.
Best
and
movie
now I
of
don't
last year.
notice it.
Number 1 movie of last year, 100%.
Yeah, I'm okay with her in that. I am.
I'm okay with it. I just kind of thought, where's she going to be? What's she going to do? You know, I like anything that Julianne Moore does. So
yeah,
or most things. So, and we know she can swear because she was in that The Big Lebowski, and she had a potty mouth in that. To be fair, an absolute potty mouth. So. Anything else?
Yeah, so speaking of spies and shit, the new James Bond movie has gone into development. Now, apparently, there's so many different stories about Daniel Craig, saying, oh, fuck that shit. Yeah, I'll do another one. Fuck that shit. I think it's just the media shit stirring, to be honest with you.
Is it not because I read on, I think it was Reddit, because I've been on Reddit quite a bit recently, by the way. Yes, not a good idea. Don't go down.
I've ever been on Reddit before.
Don't go down that rabbit hole. Daniel Craig, this one guy, I can't remember his name, but he was basically saying that Daniel Craig keeps flip-flopping because he's got a show gone to pilot in CBS or ABC or one of those companies, and they don't know if it's going to get taken. They don't know if it'll happen.
Yeah, that's what they do every year, isn't it? They do a shitload of pilots,
they
and the ones that...
That.
They throw them at the wall, and the ones that stick get made into TV shows.
But basically, this guy was saying that the way he's seeing it is that if it happens, he's not coming back for James Bond. If it doesn't happen, he's coming back for James Bond. So he's kind of trying to keep his eggs in his basket and that.
Fair play. I thought he was contracted for another movie.
Well, sure. Well, that's what I thought, wasn't it? It was definitely, when it first started, was he not contracted for 4? He's done 4.
Well, 4 was Spectre.
I
thought he was contracted for 5, but I might be wrong.
I remember when this movie was coming out, they said, by the way, have you seen Spectre? You went to the cinema, didn't you? What a shower of shit.
It is not.
It was fucking... Oh, god awful.
It wasn't as good as Skyfall, but it was still good, so shut up.
Couldn't have been any worse than Skyfall, and it was still crap.
Have you watched it, I take it?
Yeah.
Right.
100%. I just, like, the whole Batista character, pointless. Christoph Waltz, while he was decent, he didn't even get nearly enough time on the screen for me.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I mean, he disappeared for half the movie, didn't he?
He disappears for half the movie.
I would completely agree with you there, that he should have been in it the whole way through, and like have James Bond disappear for half the movie and I'd just have Christoph Waltz on the screen.
I honestly wanted Moriarty to be the villain of the movie.
Well, you see, that's the thing, when Andrew Scott came on the screen, I just wanted him to be Moriarty.
Aye, but he plays it so well when he's the villain, so I know he technically kind of sort of a little bit was the villain.
He's a bit of a shit villain,
but
though.
He was very wishy-washy.
He was like a bureaucratic villain, like, yeah.
Like, as soon as he came on, I just kind of wanted him to like look at James Bond and be like, hello.
It was more like, sign these papers. Oh, you! Get in the way of me shooting people in the head.
Rats! So going from James Bond, the spy, the superhero, have you been watching Legends of Tomorrow? Do we have it yet?
Not yet.
Well, obviously, I've been downloading it when it comes out in the Americas and that. I've been watching it while
the Americas.
In the Americas. Yeah, Legends of Tomorrow. We got a little bit of a teaser for an episode coming up, and we're going to see Ollie, Stephen Amell.
I saw a screenshot of that, of old man sort of kind of thing. I saw a screenshot of it. Like,
he looks pretty badass. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, Sky Atlantic have really, really dropped the ball. None of them are back.
No, not yet.
It's fucking shit.
For our American audience, we are like, remember back in the day when a movie used to come out in the cinema and then 2 years later you got it on DVD? And I know now it's like, it's about 3 or 4 months and you get it on DVD? Yeah, we're still like that for our TV shows. You guys get it.
No, it's like Game of Thrones, Walking Dead.
Yeah, they're
normally Flash and Arrow are the next day.
Yeah.
But for some reason, since it's come back from the mid-season break,
it's
because the Americans are like 3 or 4 episodes in now, aren't they?
Oh, they're more than that.
That's shit.
More
that
than
sucks.
that. I think they're about 13 episodes in now. I'm sure the last one I watched was like Arrow series 13, episode 13.
No, that's like after the break though.
Oh, right, after the break. Yeah,
that's what I mean.
No, after the break, about 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Aye.
But normally, like, they're the next day, and this
Flash,
sucks. I don't know what the fuck they're playing at.
Flash, though.
Yeah, shut up. I've not seen it.
Flash is getting awesome. I would put that as the top show right now. You know how, like I said, season 1 of The Flash was better than the last series of Arrow, and then Arrow came back strong this series. I think Flash is just decimating it right now with the whole... Because you know it's got Earth 2 and stuff like that, and Jay Garrick's in it. They're really going all out, like, really going all out. And they had one episode that kind of, without any spoilers, it could have got really stupid and insanely bad, but the way they dealt with it, it was just like, well done, guys, well done. But we'll move away from that. We'll move away from that.
Because that sucks. I'm not happy. Have you been watching the X-Files?
No.
Okay, moving on then.
I will catch up with the X-Files. I didn't want to be part of the hype train when everybody jumps on board. And
you don't like being a hype train, do you? No.
And it's like, oh my god, the X-Files is so amazing. And then, like, about 4
What the fuck accent was that?
And then I get all involved with it, and I'm like, ugh. So I'm going to wait till it dies off a little bit, and then I'll sit down and I'll watch them. And I'm hoping... I am recording them, so I'm hoping it's as good as...
it's the same as Arrow and Flash. There's only been 2 episodes on here.
Well, I'm hoping that it's as good as everybody says.
I'm loving it, but then I love the X-Files.
You do love the X-Files.
You know. So what else have you got?
Well, talking about TV shows, nice little segue there. Segue all day. This Quantum Break TV show / PC / game / gonna be a piping hot mess.
That's going to be Watch Dogs.
Yeah, it's going to be utterly crap.
And didn't they try a TV game crossover with that Defiance?
They did. Me and Ash bought the game, and we decided to watch the show on the strength of it being like a intertwined universe. Oh my god,
the TV was rank rotten.
I didn't actually mind the TV show.
Oh no, I mean, to be honest, I only watched it because I had Julie Benson in it.
Yeah,
that's the only reason.
I did drop it after series 2, and then I think it got dropped after series 3.
I did the same thing. Yeah, aye.
But I was enjoying it. I thought it was alright, but the tie into the game, they kept releasing like really dodgy kind of patches to update the game, and it was god awful. It was god awful. So yeah, the game never got played again, and the show never got watched again.
Honestly, this Quantum Break, it's going to be Watch Dogs.
Yeah, but Aidan Gillen's in it.
So fuck.
He's an awesome actor. He's a really good actor.
Isn't the guy from The Following and X-Men and that in it as well? Isn't he like the main character?
I think Charlie from Lost is in it as well. Dominic Monaghan.
Is he?
You know him from the Lord of the Rings and stuff.
I've heard of him.
I think he's in it as well. Not that you're not sold?
No.
He was in Lost.
I don't care.
I'm sold on Lost.
Fucking Lost. No, I just think it's going to be hyped as fuck, and it's going to be shit. Next.
Well, on games.
Go on then.
We are doing really well with this.
We are, aren't we?
I honestly feel like
you're not going to need to edit this at all.
I'm not. I feel like we're just gonna finish, and I'm just gonna upload it straight away.
Yeah, get it done. Be fine.
So the Knights of the Old Republic, which we spoke about on our gaming episode, you brought it up once or twice because it's one of your favourite games of all time, sort of thing. Well, a group of fans who formed a studio called Poem Studios. They are remastering, sort of rebooting, sort of remaking, refurbishing Knights of the Old Republic, and it's being called I've got it written down. It's like Asperian or Asperian. I can't say what the fuck it's called.
I don't really know where I know. I read about it.
But they're bringing it back with super high def kind of graphics and stuff like that.
Was it Unreal 4?
Yep.
But is that just going to be PC or is it going to be Xbox?
The way I read it, it could be PC, it could be Xbox, it could possibly be Android. Kind of worries me a little bit.
Oh, you play it on your phone?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that.
It worries me a little bit.
Jesus Christ, my phone overheats in 5 minutes of Angry Birds and oh, fucking hell.
But the big selling point is that the game is probably, possibly, definitely going to be a free game. I do think it's because they don't want Disney to totally fuck them over. I'm pretty sure this will not have been here, go and do this. I've got a feeling they've done this off their own back. It's fan-made, well played to them for doing it. Disney's going to jump on that.
So is it like a Kickstarter or something? Or
I don't know if they've kickstarted it or anything. I didn't really go into the article that much because, I can't be doing my reading, especially the day I've had today.
Yeah, I thought that.
But yeah, as far as I can tell, it's coming out, it's going to be free, and it's going to look smart as fuck.
I hope it comes out on Xbox One.
I think it probably will.
I mean, it was always on the Xbox. It was, I think it was an Xbox exclusive.
Right.
I think.
The only thing with that is if it comes out on Xbox, you're then going to be paying for it.
I don't care, I would pay for that. I love that game.
Unless they release it in the store and you get it for nothing, the same way they do DC Universe and stuff like that, which was good back in the day.
Yeah, I've got a couple more bits.
Okay.
The first one, a couple of little bits about Deadpool. The first one is it's officially the highest grossing X-Men movie ever in the US.
Is that a tricky thing?
It's just past 55 million in the US.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's fucking good.
That's pretty damn good. It is good.
I read that on Facebook before, so might or might not be true.
It could be an article from
I did read a couple of different pages on Facebook saying that. So that's good, though. And Ryan Reynolds has said that when the Blu-ray comes out, it's going to be Deadpool 1.5, where you're going to get a bunch of sort of unseen footage. And
are you going to get more like, hey, yeah, who, shoot, baby, shoot. That was almost the theme tune because that song's been stuck in my head for days. Absolutely stuck in my head for days. I like the fact that is he actively not wanting to present SNL? Or
yeah, wasn't there was a petition going?
Is it a joke though? Or
it'll be a joke. The whole fucking thing is just
because he seems to be producing these videos where he's basically telling SNL to go and fuck themselves.
Well,
which is fucking class, by the way.
I read. It is. I read before, I think it was Digital Spy when I was looking up the news. The headline was, Deadpool will never host SNL ever.
Doesn't mean Ryan Reynolds won't.
Can't have that without Ryan Reynolds.
I just think it's fucking brilliant. When I read it, I was like, it's so in keeping with... I mean, we're going to talk about the movie in a little bit, but it's so in keeping with the movie. Just I love it.
You can just tell he's having the absolute time of his life doing this.
Aye.
Did you watch the interview with him, Hugh Jackman, where he was interviewing Hugh Jackman? It was fucking funny.
Was it good?
Yeah.
I love all the shit he was saying about him in the film. It was awesome. I watched the one he done with James Corden on the Late Late Show. And James
Corden was coming in with the different costumes.
He was wanting to be a sidekick.
Aye, that was cool.
That was brilliant.
Aye, that was
and
really funny.
And you got some double Deadpool. James Corden's really cracking America. He's kind of
good on
getting
him.
there. He's getting there. Considering we all thought he was going to be the fat shit that never worked over there, But he's done well. He's done well for himself.
Well, I mean, I'm a big fan of James Corden. He gave us Gavin and Stacey,
Well, exactly.
So the last bit I've got is it's the Oscars next Sunday.
Ooh, the Oscars, the 365.
So just tying it up to where we started. Nice, professional, exciting to be professional. Is we've currently got a vacated 365 title, and this is going to be decided, motherfucker, next Sunday night.
So if that gets decided next Sunday, we will be doing a live cast on the Monday.
We will.
So I'll be able to wear my shiny new title.
Well, no, you won't, because I'll be winning it.
Well, no, you won't, because I'll be winning.
I'll be driving up here to collect my title.
Just so you can drive back home and wear it on the cast.
I'll be walking home.
With
the belt over my shoulder all the way down.
So, a little reminder, we have the championship, it's vacated right now. We decided to decide who was going to win it for the first time via the Oscars So White ceremony. What? That's what we're calling it, isn't it?
Is it really?
The hashtag Oscars So White?
Oh, fuck you.
So, just a little reminder, we decided to choose our categories. We got Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Actress, Supporting Actor, Supporting Actress, Director, Editing, and Visual, and we chose our movies for those categories. Best Picture, I went with Big Short, and Chris went with, what did you go with?
I went with Bridge of Spies.
Best Actor, I went with DiCaprio because he needs it.
He's not going to get it.
He's not going to get it, but he needs it.
He's not going to get it. I have said Michael Fassbender.
That, for me, was more of a gimme. I just want him to win it.
Fassbender's going to win it. It's a biopic about bloody Steve Jobs. He's going to win it.
But it's a crap biopic about Steve Jobs.
When does that matter with the fucking Oscars?
It's nowhere near as good as the Ashton Kutcher version. So, Best Actress, we both went with Kate Blanchett.
We did, that's right.
Best Actor, Supporting Actor. I went for Ruffalo's for the Popes Being Paedophiles film.
Aye. I went with Sylvester Stallone.
For not being a Pope and a paedophile.
Yes.
Supporting Actress, I went for Rachel McAdams from the same movie.
We both.
Oh, we both did,
yeah.
Best Director, Adam McKay. That's a long shot for me.
I went with McCarthy. Which one did he? Was that Spotlight?
Yeah, I think so. Aye. Best Editing, I went for The Big Short.
And I went for The Revenant.
And obviously we both went for the same Best Visuals.
Star Wars.
It's going to be Star Wars.
Of course it does.
If it doesn't win an Oscar for breaking every single record except Avatar's, I still can't believe
it won a BAFTA. So
Did it win a BAFTA?
For that award, for that. So that's a moral victory, if anything.
Let's be honest though, right? Mad Max cleaned up at the BAFTAs.
Fucking
Mad Max. You know what it is? They keep saying that the BAFTAs is almost like the equivalent of the Oscars. It really isn't, because us Brits went out and gave Mad Max about 12 different fucking awards. Are we mental?
Apparently so.
Are we fucking mental?
They should let us do the nominations next year.
They really should.
Yeah.
But I mean, big props. John Boyega won the BAFTA for Up and Coming, so I was happy with that one. I was very happy with that, and he was up against Taron Egerton, so I was even happier because I would love to have seen either of them win it.
So after next Sunday night, once the Oscars have happened, the person who gets the most right, hopefully will get some of them right. We've got to decide like what happens if neither of us get any right at all.
We'll just like kick each other in the nuts until one falls over.
We're going to battle it out. You've got a trampoline out there. We could just like do attitude adjustments on each other until one of us can't get up.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Be fine. And then we decided the other day that the winner of the title is going to get to do... That's going to come out wrong, isn't it? It's going to get to do something to the loser.
I'm not having you do anything to my asshole, by the way.
I didn't offer. No, we're going to bring back something that we used to do all the time on the show. The winner of the 365Flicks title. What are we calling it? The 365Flicks title?
I think Dev wants to call it the 365Fucks title.
Yeah, fuck you.
Because when you take a picture with it, depending on what angle you take the picture from.
To be fair, Dev, that was my phone being a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Because it can't cope, but you've got a muckle big bloody railway station light in the studio.
Exactly.
So, it can't cope with that. So it's not a little bit it is, but...
It's not a little bit it is.
Yeah, it'll be fine, shut up. So yeah, we're bringing it back where the winner of the title gets to nominate a very, 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 very shit movie for the loser to watch and review. And my friend, I have got the movie for you. I was just pissing about. It was one I ended up watching, From Hell. It's not that.
It's not From Hell, please.
I was pissing about, just, flicking through as you do. And I saw that, and I was like, that'll get you back for... I can't remember... The last time we did this, you gave me the movie to watch, but I'm buggered if I can remember what it is.
I gave you Biodome at one point, but it wasn't that.
It was after that.
Oh,
I can't remember what it is. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening. So on the Blabs, a week tomorrow at 22:30, 100 hours, whatever you're going to call it.
That's going to be like a live presentation.
So we're going to say, and no!
What we should do, right, because the blab's done over the cameras, we should, like, get another replica belt, and I should, like, pass it down the camera, and then you pull it away from the screen as if we passed it through.
I like that.
Would it work, or would it just look shit?
That would look awesome.
So, I'm going to go ahead and say, I do have one bit of news after that, but I'm not really that fussed about it. Did you see Ron Howard's making a Pinocchio movie with Robert Downey Jr.?
A Pinocchio movie, really?
Yeah. Unless it's Downey Jr. being Geppetto and Ultron being Pinocchio. You know, the I have no strings. No. I was trying. So, let's move on to the next section. What do you want to talk about now?
So, we're going to do our top 5?
Yeah, but first...
I'm Jason.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Blake from the History of Bad Ideas. And we'll get back to your regularly scheduled program here in just a second, geek listeners. But we do a weekly podcast called The History of Bad Ideas.
Yeah, well, we'll discuss things like television or movies or music or games or any other thing that falls into our geek-related podcast knowledge.
You can find us on Geek Life Radio, Fridays, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, or Radio-Blitz, Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, or you can listen to us whenever the hell you want on iTunes and Stitcher. Check us out. Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.
I would like to pose a question before we do our top 5.
Oh.
I put it on the Facebook. I don't think it was enough. I didn't like the answer I got. I'm a little bit peeved. You obviously listened to the last Hobie.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the guys from Salty Language on.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome guests, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Really good guests.
They
were fantastic. But there was a bit where they basically said Nickel was like number one choice.
Oh yeah, that was upsetting.
Yeah. Then because Nickel couldn't do it, they then went to the number 2 choice, which was the Salty Language. So I then put on Facebook, if Salty Language were number 2, where the fuck were we?
And the answer was?
We were after Dev. Is that not just a piss take?
That's hellish.
You know, we don't come on here and be doing American accents every 2 minutes, but we have to sit through 2 hours of Jason trying to be Michael Caine, and it upsets me.
It's probably racist, if anything.
It is. It's a little bit racist, but I honestly thought we would at least be number 3.
So we're going to do Hobie So White.
Hobie So White. That's
Hobie So American.
Hobie So American.
Hobie So American.
Aye, hashtag Hobie So. I'm going to hashtag.
I'm not going to say hashtag, but
I'm going to hashtag that right now as we speak, so that they can see the fruits of it later on.
Do it now.
And while I'm doing that, would you like to introduce the next section?
Yeah. So we are, as we said before, going to be talking about our favourite monologues in movies ever, and this was a really tricky one for me. I know that you said it was easy because you weren't really arsed about it. I did struggle with it. I kind of had a list, and then I sort of whittled them away, and then I started adding them again. So yeah, it was a difficult one.
It wasn't that I didn't put enough effort into it. I just it just didn't really, like, I had a list. And then when I looked at my list again, I was like, okay, I've got Al Pacino speeches 5 times here. So I had to try and get rid of some Al Pacino.
See, I didn't. I had the Devil's Advocate in there. I didn't have Scent of a Woman. I can't remember what was the other one I had. Doesn't matter. And then I had like 4 fucking Daniel Day-Lewis movies in there, for God's sake.
4 Daniel Day-Lewis. Did you get poop shoots for this?
I did.
Good man. Oh, by the way, is there any point mentioning it?
It's done now, isn't it?
Well,
they're in the middle of it.
They're in the middle of it now. The lads at HD1 Jump who came on episode 26. What's this? 30?
This is 30, so it'd be 28, would it?
27. Episode number 27, the HD1 Jump guys, Peter Kendall came on and he said about his Painful Games Done Slowly 2016 campaign. They were doing it for a children's charity. And I just want to say, well done, lads. You did really well. And I'm betting that you raised a lot. But because you're doing it right now and we're recording now, but this is going to go out later, just kudos, boys.
Oh, yeah, well, yep. We're
I'm going to assume that you've raised $1 million. That's the hopes I'll have. I'm just going to assume that off the bat.
I'm sure it will be.
And say, well done, lads, on raising the $1 million. I did watch a little bit of it earlier, and they were doing pretty. They were playing like an IKEA simulator. So when they say painful games done slowly, it was painful. They were like building flat pack furniture in an IKEA simulator, and I was like sat there. Funnily enough, it was like, you know, when Shia LaBeouf done that thing in the movie theatre?
Ugh, yeah.
And I couldn't stop watching it, and I kept going back to it. Yeah, that's pretty much what I did today with them watching playing an IKEA simulator. It was not a game I'll ever play. The place they did it, Yestercades, awesome. Like, you could see it in the background, you could see what was going on.
From what he was telling us, that you know, when we recorded the section with him, it did sound fucking cool.
It looked pretty badass, actually. I was like, I want to go there. So this is, well done on raising the million. Kids are going to be happy with that. It's for the kids. You want to move on to top 5?
Yeah, let's go top 5.
Yeah. So I
need to load some videos here.
Let you start first.
Right, so this is my number 5, and this is actually maybe a bit of a curveball.
It's not only a bit of a curveball, but I can see what you're about to do here, and yeah, you motherfucker. This isn't on my list. Yeah, I hate you.
Why?
I absolutely hate you.
Why?
Right, go on, just play the.
This is actually my favourite part of the movie, because this is just Gary Oldman and all over the place, and it's a fucking hell of a speech, and I love it.
Parole under the Dent Act is based on a lie.
Gotham needed a hero.
It needs it now more than ever. You betrayed everything you stood for.
What's the point? Far out there when the structures fail you, when the rules aren't weapons anymore, they're shackles. Letting the bad guy get ahead. One day, you may face such a moment of crisis, and in that moment, I hope you have a friend like I did. To plunge their hands into the filth, so that you can keep yours clean.
I love that.
Yeah, I saw that come up and I wasn't happy because I knew straight away, even though the title is Bane Blackgate Prison Speech, I knew you weren't going to do any Bane. I knew it was going to be Oldman. Oldman is fantastic in that scene. He pretty much chews the scenery in Dark Knight Rises, to be fair. He doesn't need to put in that good of a performance, but he puts in an amazing performance.
Yeah.
But I would have rather he put Bane.
Oh no, but I just, I've got my issues with that movie. I did take out the one that I was going to put in to annoy you because I couldn't find the Mandarin from Iron Man 3. I did take that one out, but yes, my number 5 is from The Dark Knight Rises, and it's Gary fucking Oldman.
Yeah, it's an awesome film. It's an awesome film, and Gary Oldman, like I say, I nearly had a Gary Oldman speech. I didn't go with it in the end.
Was it Leon?
It wasn't Leon, no. It was True Romance. Is one scene. Well, he had 2 scenes in True Romance, but it was the when Clarence goes into the brothel and he's like, "Why don't you sit down and grab yourself an egg roll?" He's like, "We got everything here from a little I joke to a damned if I know," and all that. Oh, it's such a fucking class scene. It's
been a long time since I've seen that movie.
It's a great movie. It's a great movie, and that's a great scene. But I did see, was it Imran basically put any scene,
yes, he did.
Any scene from True Romance. So I thought, well, I can't do that now. My number 5, and it's a classic number 5. It's a classic movie. It's one of my favourite movies of all time. So it went straight in there at number 5. Could have easily been anywhere else, but I had to push some back, and it is this one.
Dear Mr. Vernon, we accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday in detention for whatever it was we did wrong. But we think you're crazy to make us write an essay telling you who we think we are. And you see us as you want to see us. In the simplest terms, with the most convenient definitions. But what we found out is that each one of us is a brain, and an athlete,
and a basket case, a princess,
and a criminal. Does that answer your question? Sincerely yours, The Breakfast Club.
Oh man, just get that fucking fist pumping! I know there's like a million people out there listening. Well, a million people listening to this podcast.
Yeah, of course there is. Why wouldn't there be?
I know there's like 12 people out there listening to this podcast who are all doing the Judd Nelson fist pump right now. You've seen The Breakfast Club, haven't you?
I actually don't think I have seen The Breakfast Club.
No. You upset me sometimes, you know that, don't you?
Yeah, I think I upset Hayes earlier on as well. Cause what the fuck what movie did he say I hadn't seen?
Oh yeah, you wanted the with Neil and I.
Yeah, I've never seen
Richard E. Grant at the very end. Classic movie, don't get me wrong, totally classic movie. Is it a movie I love? Is it a movie that pumps my nads?
Well, it's a movie that pumps his nads.
Again, there'll be 12 people who love The Breakfast Club listening that get that reference right there. See, I'm just dropping references all over the place.
Okay. See, that's what to do. Drop a reference from the guy who's not seen a movie.
I can't believe you've never actually seen The Breakfast Club. I don't think Lindsay has either, and it is a classic. It's just a bunch of kids who turn up to detention on a Saturday morning, because what else are you going to do? Talk about the dysfunctional lives, and they all leave friends. Dawson's Creek done an episode that was kind of like it, and they basically tried to rip off. It didn't work. you know I'm a big fan of Dawson's Creek. It didn't work. It was just Kevin Williamson stroking his own ego. So, you're number 4.
Yeah, my number 4. This movie had to be in there.
Yeah.
I struggled to pick a scene from the movie. That's what I spoke about with, what rules are we going to set ourselves, because there's the bit at the start where they're about to have the battle and Daniel Day-Lewis delivers a fucking hell of a line. But then I thought, does that count as a monologue or not?
Is that the bit when he's like, I asked you to bring an army worthy of war, and you brought some ragtags and a bunch of bitches? Yeah, and he goes, we're gathered here to settle for good. Oh, man. Awesome. But then, I had, as I said before, I had like 4 Daniel Day-Lewis movies. I watched There Will Be Blood last night. You could pick 4 from that movie.
Oh, shit.
I'm done.
And the bit where the milkshake.
I drink all your milk.
But the one I went with was Gangs of New York. It's one of my favourite movies.
Yep.
The last honourable man 15 years ago. Since then, you've seen his portrait downstairs? Is your mouth all glued up with coney juice? I asked you a question.
I said I seen it, sir.
Oh, you got a murderous rage in you, and I like it. Oh, it's life. Boiling up inside of you is good. The priest and me, we lived by the same principles. It was only faith divided us. He gave me this, That was the finest beating I ever took. My face was pulp. My guts was pierced. My ribs was all mashed up. And when he came to finish me, I couldn't look him in the eye. He spared me because he wanted me to live in shame. This was a great man.
Yeah, it's Daniel Day-Lewis, man. He could read the phone book and it would be amazing,
See, I had the other one I had was Lincoln. Where they're in the war room and he's telling the story about them going to England and having the picture of George Washington in the toilet.
Oh yeah.
That was in there as well, and I fucking love that as well. But then there's also a scene with Sally Field, which is it was impossible to narrow those down. But yeah. So Gangs of New York, I mean, that's one of my favourite movies, so that had to be in there.
I do like in Gangs of New York when he introduces himself and he's like, Amsterdam, eh? Well, that must make me New York. Fucking Daniel Day-Lewis, man. Mm-hmm. And who would have thought for years he was losing roles to Liam Neeson, For years. And then
I can't see Daniel Day-Lewis doing any sort of Taken movies, to be honest.
I like to think that is exactly what the scene at the beginning was all about. I know it's like 2 big actors kind of getting together.
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese's good at that. But I like to think it was Daniel Day-Lewis's way of saying, you know what, mate, you've been stealing my movies for fucking years, so I'm a kill,
Well, yeah, could well be.
So yeah.
You're number 4.
My number 4 is, it's more of a rant than a monologue.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's absolutely fantastic. You've already heard a little bit of swearing up until now in this episode, in any episode of the 365Flicks podcast. You're about to hear a whole bunch more in the next couple of minutes. But this is Ed Norton absolutely fucking tearing up the screen. And I know in the last couple of episodes, I've knocked Spike Lee a little bit because of the Oscars and all that. But this is a fantastic movie by Spike Lee, and Ed Norton absolutely slays this monologue / rant.
Fuck me, fuck you. Fuck you and this whole city and everyone in it. No.
Fuck the panhandlers grubbing for money and smiling at me behind my back. Fuck the squeegee men dirtying up the clean windshield of my car. Get a fucking job. Fuck the Sikhs and the Pakistanis bombing down the avenues in decrepit cabs. Curry steaming out their pores, stinking up my day. Terrorists in fucking training, slow the fuck down!
Fuck the Chelsea boys with their waxed chests and pumped up biceps. Going down on each other in my parks and on my piers, jiggling their dicks on my Channel 35. Fuck the Korean grocers with their pyramids of overpriced fruit and their tulips and roses wrapped in plastic. 10 years in the country, still no speaky English. Fuck the Russians in Brighton Beach. Mobster thugs sitting in cafes, sipping tea in little glasses, sugar cubes between their teeth, wheeling and dealing and scheming. Go back where you fucking came from. Fuck the black-hatted Hasidim strolling up and down 47th Street in their dirty gabardine with their dandruff, selling South African apartheid diamonds. Fuck the Wall Street brokers, self-styled masters of the universe, Michael Douglas, Gordon Gekko wannabe motherfuckers figuring out new ways to rob hardworking people blind. Send those Enron assholes to jail for fucking life. You think Bush and Cheney didn't know about that shit? Give me a fucking break. WorldCom, fuck the Puerto Ricans. 22 a car, swelling up the welfare rolls. Worst fucking parade in the city. And don't even get me started on the dumb in the cans, because they make the Puerto Ricans look good. Fuck the Bensonhurst Italians with their pomaded hair, their nylon warm-up suits, their St. Anthony medallions, swinging their Jason Giambi, Louisville Slugger, baseball bats trying to audition for the Sopranos. Fuck the Upper East Side wives with their Hermes scarves and their $50 Balducci artichoke. Overfed faces getting pulled and lifted and stretched all taut and shiny. You're not fooling anybody, sweetheart. Taxi! Fuck the Uptown Brothers. They never pass the ball. They don't want to play defense. They take 5 steps on every layup to the hoop, and then they want to turn around and blame everything on the white man. Slavery ended 137 years ago. Move the fuck on. Fuck the corrupt cops with their anus-violating plungers and their 41 shots. Standing behind a blue wall of silence. You betray our trust. Fuck the priests who put their hands down some innocent child's pants. Fuck the church that protects them, delivering us into evil. And while you're at it, fuck JC. He got off easy. A day on the cross, a weekend in hell, and all the hallelujahs of the legioned angels for eternity. Try 7 years in fucking Otisville, Jay. Fuck Osama bin Laden, Al-Qaeda, and backward-ass, cave-dwelling fundamentalist assholes everywhere. On the names of innocent thousands murdered, I pray you spend the rest of eternity with your 72 whores roasting in a jet fuel fire in hell. You towel-headed camel jockeys can kiss my royal Irish ass. Fuck Jacob Alinsky.
Sexual or otherwise.
Whining malcontent. Fuck Francis Xavier Slattery, my best friend, judging me while he stares at my girlfriend's ass. Fuck Naturel Rivera. I gave her my trust and she stabbed me in the back. Sold me up the river. Fucking bitch. Fuck my father with his endless grief, standing behind that bar, sipping on club soda, selling whiskey to firemen and cheering Bronx bombers.
Let's go Yankees!
Fuck this whole city and everyone in it. From the row houses of Astoria to the penthouses on Park Avenue. From the projects in the Bronx to the lofts in Soho. From the tenements in Alphabet City to the brownstones in Park Slope to the split levels in Staten Island. Let an earthquake crumble it. Let the fires rage. Let it burn to fucking ash, and then let the waters rise and submerge this whole rat-infested place. No, fuck you, Montgomery Brogan. You had it all and you threw it away, you dumb fuck!
Holy shit!
So that's a long one.
Fucking hell!
You've seen the movie?
I've not seen that movie?
You've not seen the movie? It's, the movie's 25th Hour.
I've never heard of that movie.
It's the 25th Hour. It's
Jesus Christ.
It's Edward Norton, Spike Lee movie, and it's like the last day before he goes to prison. He's getting sent to prison because he basically gets fucked over, and it's the last day, and he's basically getting all his eggs in a row before he goes to prison. And that's halfway through the movie. Such a fucking great scene because he goes through every spectrum. Like he starts off really fucking angry at the world sort of thing, but then it becomes he's not angry about the world, he's angry at his fucking pals and that, and then really he knows that he's fucked himself basically. Such an amazing movie. You need to watch that movie.
I can't believe it because you had Rosario Dawson in there.
Yeah, she's in there.
He was the guy. Oh shit! Yeah, I need to see that movie.
The dad was Brian Cox.
That's Brian Cox. I was trying to think of the name. Shit. Yeah, I can't believe I've never heard of that movie. When did it come out?
It's a good few years back. Right. No, it was the first movie to be filmed in New York after 9/11. Right. And there's a couple of scenes where they basically film at Ground Zero,
right? And
you get like an aerial shot looking down at the rubble and that, and it's fucking harrowing. Like it's such a good film. So yeah, that was my number 4. There might be a little bit of editing goes in there because that's like a good 5 minutes.
It was about 5 minutes, aye.
But it's powerful as fuck. And I remember the first time I ever saw it. Like first time I ever saw it, I was taken aback because of some of the shit he's saying. let's be honest, it doesn't leave anything out.
No, it kind of makes American History X look lame.
Yeah, American History X nearly made it. But that 25th Hour is one of those. It's one of those movies that's always stuck with me. When I think about Edward Norton, it's the movie I think about, and that one little speech is just. There's more speeches later on, and his dad does a fantastic speech at the end of the movie. His dad's driving him to the prison, and he starts telling him this story about how they could just drive past the prison, and he's like, I'll take you away, you can get on the next plane, you can take your passports, you get on a boat, you'll go somewhere, you'll have a family and you'll have kids, and then one day I'll come and be with you and all this. And it's Brian Cox being Brian Cox. Mm-hmm. Just, oh man, actually that probably would have been a better scene because it is amazing. But you might have saw me crying.
That, you know what? that was a monologue. That, you know, that was a good monologue, definitely.
So on to your number 3.
Yeah, my number 3.
And by the way, I saw this coming a mile off.
Yeah. You'll have seen my number 1 coming as well, because there's no surprises on my number 1. But, yeah, so this is a movie. It's a movie that we know that the movie, historically-wise, is a load of shit. Oh, right. Other than it's actually him. I think, you know...
I think they got the character name right.
They got the character name right. That's about it. But this is a well-known speech, a well-known monologue. It's Braveheart, and... Well, I don't need to explain anymore.
I give homage to Scotland. And if this is your army, sons of Scotland, I am William Wallace.
William Wallace is 7 feet tall.
Yes, I've heard. He kills men by the hundred. And if he were here, he'd consume the English with fireballs from his eyes and bolts of lightning from his arse. I am William Wallace, and I see a whole army of my countrymen here in defiance of tyranny. You've come to fight as free men. Free men you are. What will you do with that freedom? Will you fight? Against that? No! We will run! And we will live. Aye. Fight and you may die. Run and you'll live. At least a while. And dying in your beds many years from now. Would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom?
I've got chills.
I think that's the Scotland in you.
Aye. Aye.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh,
you know what?
Man.
Well, you don't want to give me that shit because that movie makes me want to kill English people, so watch the fuck out, alright?
I like that a lot. That film would be so much better if he could choose what his accent was going to be.
Well, it's not as bad as Russell Crowe and Robin Hood, though.
It's not. But he kind of goes. He goes Scottish. He goes a little bit Irish. Breaks into a little bit of Mad Max.
Yeah. Does he go Australian?
He doesn't really go Australian.
He does go. He kind of goes, "How are you?" a couple of times. How are you?
Somebody should have told him to say Weetabix. But yeah, I'll give you Braveheart. Braveheart's it's a classic movie. It's an absolute classic. Although you do kind of wait for him to say, "What we do in life echoes in eternity." But that's Gladiator.
Why would he say that? That's Gladiator.
Which isn't in my top 5 at all.
No, it's not in mine. So what's your number 3?
My number 3, you knew this was going to happen because I literally have a part of this monologue tattooed on my arm. It's a phrase, the whole thing. I know technically it's cheating because it's a poem that somebody else wrote that they put in a movie, but they tweaked it a little bit for the film. And I love this scene. And you want to talk about tears, you want to talk about emotional, you want to talk about motivational. This gets me every time.
I do love this movie, yeah.
Coach Carter. Yep. It's a fantastic movie. And all the way through the movie, he keeps asking this kid, what is your greatest fear or what is your deepest fear? I know I changed the words on my arm, but he's like, all the way through the movie, he's asking the kid, and the kid stands up and tells him.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Sir, I just want to say thank you.
all that needs, right at the end, all that needs is Sam Jack to go, oh shit, Negro, that's all you had to say. I love the movie.
Say what again?
I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. There's nothing I can say. Coach Carter's a fantastic movie.
It is a hell of a good movie. I do love that movie.
I watched it at a time, I was working on the video shop at the time, and I watched it at a time when I needed sort of pick-me-up movie. Coach Carter came along. The kid says that poem, and it's something that's always stuck with me, and like I say, it's tattooed on my arm. So.
Yeah.
And I just love it. I love the film. I love the quote. I love the actor that does it. I've not seen him in much else, but you do kind of need Sam Jack saying, well, shit, that's all you had to say.
Yeah, that would have been good.
That would have went down pretty well. I could have went with the Sam Jack quote from the movie because there are that many. And if anybody wants to look up the actual poem, it's written by a woman called Marianne Wilson. It gets a bit gaudy, I won't lie. It does get a bit gaudy, and that's why they changed it a little bit in the movie, but it's still awesome. So
my number 2, I'm going to try and find the right place here on this video, hopefully. Yeah, there was no way in hell that this monologue wasn't going on my list.
You do love this.
I do love this. It is Star Trek First Contact, and we all know the scene. Well, anybody who's watched Star Trek First Contact knows the scene.
Yeah, I don't think everybody knows the scene. I don't think we can say we all know the scene.
Everybody who's seen First Contact knows the scene. Shut the fuck up.
Normal people know the scene.
Fuck normal people. Right, we'll play that there. That'll do.
You have to press the play button, though.
Oh, bygones.
In my century, we don't succumb to revenge. We have a more evolved sensibility.
Bullshit! I saw the look on your face when you shot those Borg on the holodeck. You were almost enjoying it.
How dare you?
Oh, come on, Captain. You're not the first man to get a thrill from murdering someone. I see it all the time.
Get out!
Or what? You'll kill me? Like you killed Ensign Lynch?
There was no way to save him.
You didn't even try. Where was your evolved sensibility then?
I don't have time for this.
Oh, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your little quest. Captain Ahab has to go hunt his whale.
What?
You do have books in the 24th century.
This is not about revenge.
Liar!
This is about saving the future of humanity!
Jean-Luc, blow up the damn ship!
No! No! I will not sacrifice the Enterprise. We've made too many compromises already. Too many retreats. They invade our space, and we fall back. They assimilate entire worlds, and we fall back. Not again. The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther. I will make them pay for what they've done.
Aye.
I'll give you that one.
Patrick Stewart, come on.
It kind of, at one point though, I was sitting there thinking, so who's doing the monologue in here? Because I never realised how good of a part she actually has in that scene. She's got like some, like...
She's good, she's good in that movie, she is.
Like blow up the damn ship. Like that's, she's got some pretty meaty lines in there. I was quite surprised on that one.
You know, it's the best of the Next Generation movies.
Yeah.
Easily. You know,
by a mile,
it's not difficult, is it? And just that monologue, there was no way that wasn't...
Yeah.
My top 2, there was no way it wasn't going to be my top 2.
No, I'm glad you went with that. For me, that was the curveball. To be, if I'm completely honest with you.
What, me putting that in there?
Yeah, I know you love First Contact, but I wasn't expecting to see it. I know you love that scene, but I wasn't expecting to see it in your top 5.
Well, you see, there were so many that I took out. I love that scene in First Contact.
It's a great scene, and it's Patrick Stewart just being Patrick Stewart.
You know, the sort of the rule that I kind of set for myself when I was doing it was, have I kind of thought about these monologues after? And I know that, like, say, the Joker, which is not in either of our top 5s.
No.
You know, they're awesome monologues by Heath Ledger, but I don't like to be obvious, Kev.
I don't like to be obvious either, which is why I don't think you would have been expecting this one.
Go on then, what's your number 2?
My number 2, I'll play the clip and then I'll explain what happened.
Go for it.
Get the fuck out of here.
What?
Don't talk to me, don't look at me, just pick your ass up out of that Italian leather chair and get the fuck out of this room, right now. Come on, let's go, Schleprock. Out! We expect everyone here to treat their coworkers with a certain level of respect. Okay, before we get started, I have one question. Has anyone here passed a Series 7 exam?
I have a Series 7 license.
Good for you. You can get out too.
What?
We don't hire brokers here. We train new ones. That's it, Skippy. Pack your shit. Let's go. Here's the deal. I'm not here to waste your time, okay? And I certainly hope you're not here to waste mine. So I'm going to keep this short. Become an employee of this firm, you will make your first $1 million. within 3 years. Okay? I'm going to repeat that. You will make $1 million within 3 years of your first day of employment at JT Marlin. There is no question as to whether or not you'll become a millionaire working here. The only question is how many times over. I am a millionaire. It's a weird thing to hear, right? I tell you, it's a weird thing to say. I am a fucking millionaire. I guess how old I am. 27. You know what that makes me here? A fucking senior citizen. This firm is entirely comprised of people your age, not mine. Lucky for me, I happen to be very fucking good at my job, or I'd be out of one. You guys are the new blood. You're gonna go home with the Kesef. You are the future big swinging dicks of this firm. Now, y'all look money hungry, and that's good. Anybody tells you money's the root of all evil doesn't fucking have any. They say money can't buy happiness. Look at the fucking smile on my face. Ear to ear, baby. You want details? Fine. I drive a Ferrari, 355 Cabriolet. What's up? I have a ridiculous house in the South Fork. I have every toy you can possibly imagine. And best of all, kids, I am liquid. So, now you know what's possible. Let me tell you what's required. You are required to work your fucking ass off at this firm. We want winners here, not pikers. A piker walks at the bell. Piker asks how much vacation time you get in the first year. Vacation time? People come and work at this firm for one reason, to become filthy rich. That's it. We're not here to make friends. We're not saving the fucking manatees here, guys. You want vacation time? Go teach third grade public school. First 3 months at the firm or as a trainee. You make $150 a week. After you're done training, you take the Series 7. You pass that, you become a junior broker, and you're opening accounts for your team leader. You open 40 accounts, you start working for yourself. The sky's the limit. A word or two about being a trainee, your friends, your parents, the other brokers, whoever, they're going to give you shit about it. It's true. $150 a week, not a lot of money, but pay them no mind. You need to learn this business, and this is the time to do it. Once you pass the test, none of that's going to matter. Your friends are shit. They tell me you made 25 grand last month, they're not going to fucking believe you. Fuck them. Fuck them. Parents don't like the life you lead? Fuck you, Mom and Dad. See how it feels when you're making their fucking Lexus payments. Now go home and think about it. Think about whether or not this is really for you. If you decide it isn't, listen, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's not for everyone.
You know I'm a Ben Affleck fan. Mm-hmm. That's the only scene in that movie he's in.
So he does Alec Baldwin?
He does an Alec Baldwin.
Right.
I was going to say, who the fuck do you see when you watch that scene?
Yeah.
You see Alec Baldwin giving the Glengarry speech. That's all it is, but it's Ben Affleck delivering it superbly, and I'm a big fan of Ben Affleck.
That was fun. Yeah, it was delivered really well.
I love Ben Affleck.
Definitely.
The other thing was I looked for one in the town because I love the town, and I had the when he's like, hey, there ain't no me, you, and fucking shine. I'm gonna put this whole town in my rear view mirror. I nearly had that one because I love that scene. I almost had the scene in Good Will Hunting when he's telling him the best part of his day is when he walks up to the door and he's not going to be there. If I'm going to put a Good Will Hunting quote in, it's going to be Robin Williams every time. So I couldn't do that.
Oh, the "it's not your fault" bit.
Yeah, that bit was that whole little scene. That was a wicked scene. But I just love Ben Affleck, and Boiler Room is an amazing movie. It got so overlooked because it was basically a Wall Street Glengarry ripoff. It was.
It screamed Glengarry to me there.
That whole scene when you watch him, it's him doing his best Alec Baldwin impression, basically. It is. But I love the movie. If any scene is going to sell you on Ben Affleck, it's that one. And he's going to be Batman. He's going to be awesome.
After seeing that newest trailer, yeah. It was...
wow, that's like the first time I've actually heard somebody who said they saw the new trailer and thought, this is going to be decent.
Because I thought the first trailer sucked balls.
First trailer wasn't great. Second trailer was excellent.
You know what was the bit at the start where he was kind of fighting a lot like Arkham?
Yeah. They've definitely ripped off
Arkham. I think he's going to be a good Batman. I do.
Of course he is, man. It's Ben Affleck.
So, before we get to our number ones, have you got any honourable mentions?
I had a few honourable mentions. I had the obvious ones. I had Glengarry. I had Alec Baldwin doing his speech. I had Jack Lemmon doing his speech. I had Al Pacino doing his speech. Kevin Spacey doing his speech. Ed Harris doing his speech.
Yep.
The list goes on. Alan Arkin doing his speech. Just everybody in that movie. And I saw a lot of people putting it on Facebook. Glengarry. You know what? All of you, such an obvious choice. It is an amazing movie full of amazing speeches.
But it's like the trouble that I had with Daniel Day-Lewis. What one do you actually choose? Because Brigger said the Alec Baldwin one.
Yep.
Personally, I love the Al Pacino rant at the end.
When he's like, who the fuck told you could work with men?
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah.
You fucking child. You cunt. You fucking fairy.
You fucking cunt, you idiot. I love that bit.
Awesome, man.
You can leave that in, that's a movie quote.
That's staying. Yeah. So I had all the Glengarrys, I had the Matt Damon speech in Good Will Hunting, I had the Fight Club speech when he's like, I look around, I see a lot of new faces. You know that speech, don't you? Like the
I love...
we've all been brought up to believe we're going to become moviegoers, rock stars, but we won't and all that. I had them. There's just so many amazing speeches out there, though, that I'm saying I didn't put a lot of effort into it. These were the ones that were most obvious for me. Breakfast Club strikes a chord with me. Coach Carter has always resonated deep in my heart. Ed Norton can say whatever the fuck he wants, and I'm going to love it. 25th Hour just happens to be the one that really hits home. Affleck, I love Affleck. I know he's just ripping off Glengarry, and I didn't want to put Glengarry in, so that was kind of my way of shoehorning Alec Baldwin's Glengarry speech in there. So that one was for you, Brigger, even though I know you're not a big fan of Affleck. And my last one was just totally obvious anyway. You knew that was going to be my number one from day one.
I'm happy with that.
But we'll get to that in a minute.
I was the same with honourable mentions. I mean, you know, I had Glengarry in there, the Joker, obviously. Jack Nicholson, pretty much just any Jack Nick movie, but in particular, obviously, there's A Few Good Men.
Oh, yes. I did kind of think you were going to come here prepared with just ranting the Few Good Men speech and just be like, I don't need to put that in there now.
Yeah, I had them in there, and there just wasn't room. I only had 5, and you motherfucker wanted to drop it down to 3 just to annoy me, so...
Yeah, because you wanted to take it up to 7 just to annoy me.
It wasn't to annoy you, it was because I didn't want to cut any out.
I could have quite easily had 7, but I didn't want to. I just thought 5 was
But then, if I'd gotten to 7, it'd be like, oh, can I have 8?
Exactly. I mean, at one point, when I did it, I was literally sitting there thinking, will I just play about with this? And will I just have number 5, Kevin Spacey and Glengarry, number 4, Alan Arkin and Glengarry, number 3, Kevin Spacey. You know, I was just literally just going to have a top 5 for Glengarry. As quotable movies go, that's got to be number 1.
It has, yeah.
Or at least up there.
So my number 1, there are no surprises here whatsoever. No. When we did our top 5 movies of all time, this was my number 1. In my head, there is no better monologue ever done better than this.
Japanese submarine slammed 2 torpedoes into our side, Chief. He was coming back from the island of Tinian to Leyte, just delivered the bomb, the Hiroshima bomb. 1,100 men went into the water. The vessel went down in 12 minutes. Didn't see the first shark for about half an hour. Tiger. 13-footer, you know that when you're in the water, Chief? You tell by looking from the dorsal to the tail. What we didn't know was our bomb mission had been so secret, no distress signal had been sent. They didn't even list us overdue for a week. Very first light, Chief. Sharks come cruising. So we formed ourselves into tight groups. You know, it's kind of like old squares in a battle, like you see in a calendar, like the Battle of Waterloo, and the idea was... Shark comes to the nearest man, that man he starts pounding and hollering and screaming. Sometimes the shark would go away. Sometimes he wouldn't go away. Sometimes that shark, he looks right into you, right into your eyes. You know the thing about a shark, he's got lifeless eyes. Black eyes, like a doll's eyes. When he comes at you, he doesn't seem to be living until he bites you. And those black eyes roll over white, and then you hear that terrible high-pitched screaming. The ocean turns red, and in spite of all the pounding and the hollering, they all come in and they rip you to pieces. You know, by the end of that first dawn, lost 100 men. I don't know how many sharks, maybe 1,000. I don't know how many men, they average 6 an hour. On Thursday morning, Chief, I bumped into a friend of mine, Herbie Robinson from Cleveland, baseball player, bosun's mate. I thought he was asleep, reached over to wake him up, bobbed up and down in the water. It was like a kind of top, upended. He'd been bitten in half below the waist. Noon the 5th day, Mr. Hooper, Lockheed Ventura saw us. He swung in low and he saw us too. A young pilot, a lot younger than Mr. Hooper anyway. He saw us and he come in low, and 3 hours later a big fat PBY comes down and started to pick us up. You know, that was the time I was most frightened, waiting for my turn. I'll never put on a life jacket again.
Yep.
Is that the one he did when he was like totally pissed?
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah, he did a first take sober and he wasn't happy with it. And so he went away and kind of got a little bit wankered and came back and delivered that.
Because that's how you got to do. You got to do those scenes.
Well, yeah, I think I would be.
That's a cracking scene. I mean, I'm not as big a fan of Jaws as yourself. I'm really not. It's good. Don't get me wrong, but that is a wicked scene.
I mean, it's just Jaws, and that's. For me, I mean, I love the whole movie. I think the movie's perfect. I know that people throw that word about movies quite a lot, like you with The Dark Knight Rises.
Just willy-nilly throwing it around.
Yeah, but to me, Jaws is a perfect movie.
No, a lot of people say that, and I do agree. Jaws, it might not be one of my favourite movies, but I can agree that it's definitely a solid movie until they remake it, and then everybody goes, fuck Jaws.
No, you'll get fucking Kevin James and Melissa McCarthy in there.
No, it's not Melissa McCarthy anymore. It's Rebel Wilson.
What's wrong with Rebel Wilson? I don't know what Hobie's beef with Rebel Wilson is. I like Rebel Wilson.
I think they just don't like fat female comedians.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
So what's your number one, Kevin?
My number one was an absolute no-brainer. I said to myself from the very start of all this, no Al Pacino. I said it's way too easy going down the Al Pacino road. You got Heat, you got Devil's Advocate, you got The Godfather, Donnie Brasco. Yep. You've got some phenomenal Al Pacino performances. So I said
Jack and Jill.
No, Jack and Jill, one of Brigger's favourite movies. So I said no Al Pacino, and then I got to picking my number one, and I was like, I can't not have it. Like, I can't not have this scene. It's one of my favourite scenes from a movie that, to be fair, isn't one of my favourite movies, but it's Al Pacino. Just.
This is such a crock of shit. Please watch your language, Mr. Slade. You are in the Barrett School, not a barracks.
Mr. Sims, I will give you one final opportunity to speak on.
Mr. Sims doesn't want it. He doesn't need to be labeled still worthy of being a bad man. What the hell is that? What is your motto here? Boys, inform on your classmates. Save your hide. Anything short of that, we're going to burn you at the stake? Well, gentlemen, when the shit hits the fan, some guys run and some guys stay. Here's Charlie facing the fire, and there's George hiding in Big Daddy's pocket. And what are you doing? You're gonna reward George and destroy Charlie.
Are you finished, Mr. Slade?
No, I'm just getting warmed up. I don't know who went to this place. William Howard Taft, William Jennings Bryan, William Tell, whoever. Their spirit is dead. If they ever had one, it's gone. You're building a rat ship here, a vessel for seagoing snitches. And if you think you're preparing these minnows for manhood, you better think again. Because I say you are killing the very spirit this institution proclaims it instills. What kind of a show are you guys putting on here today? I mean, the only class in this act is sitting next to me, and I'm here to tell you, this boy's soul is intact. It's non-negotiable. You know how I know? Someone here, and I'm not going to say who, offered to buy it. Only Charlie here wasn't selling.
Sir, you're out of order.
Out of order? I show you out of order. You don't know what out of order is, Mr. Trask. I'd show you, but I'm too old. I'm too tired. I'm too fucking blind. If I were the man I was 5 years ago, I'd take a flamethrower to this place.
There's more, but...
Are you welling up?
I fucking love I do actually love that film. I love that scene. That is my favourite Al Pacino performance of all time. And I think that's a bit of a bold statement because he's made some fucking great films.
It's a bold statement. But you
for
know,
me...
I'll let you away with that. It's, if anybody was wondering, that's Scent of a Woman.
It's Scent of a Woman, and it's Al Pacino fucking... hoo-hahing all over the place because he's basically just hoo-hahing all over the place. He plays a blind war vet. He teams up with Robin from Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. There's the scene where he has to drive the Ferrari. Just fucking immense, man. The film is amazing.
But look at his eyes there and that. Like I'm doing a scene here with Al Pacino.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a long and prosperous career.
And then it's like, I'm doing a scene with Val Kilmer.
I'm going to play Robin.
Yeah, he is very much looking at him. I could have went with the Devil's Advocate, but it's
actually, I was going to say that. Everybody knows the big sort of, he's an absentee landlord.
He's a sadist.
There's that bit, but my favourite monologue is the The one on the train.
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where he's
right,
like,
yeah.
oh, they don't see me coming.
I'm a mystery. So did we get any poop shoots?
We did get some poop shoots. Now, so we'll go through a couple first because we've got a request to play a clip, but it's not actually the one that he wanted. He wanted one with Robert Downey Jr., but I couldn't find it, so I went with that one instead because he likes that as well. But yes, so we did have some poop shoots.
Yay! This is becoming a thing now.
Isn't it?
Poop shoots.
I'm happy with that. So we mentioned earlier on, Imran said everything in True Romance.
And he's right. There's some great scenes in that.
Yeah, definitely.
The Gandolfini scene when he's got Patricia Arquette on the floor and he's talking about the first person he killed, and oh man, Gandolfini, man. I could have went there as well. I could have easily went there.
Well,
Gandolfini's just...
So that could be a future top 5 as movie. No, it would be Deadpool all the way. Not Deadpool, sorry, Deadwood. So Jeff from Hobie said A Few Good Men.
Yep.
You won me on that wall. You need me on that wall. That was quite good. I was quite impressed with that. Princess Bride, which I've never seen.
What?
Yeah, they had the same response.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I've never seen that. What are you going to do?
No, what are you going to do?
Brigger actually replied saying, "You've never seen The Princess Bride." Oh, shut up, you light from hell. The ABC speech from Glengarry.
Yep,
fair enough.
Obviously.
That was Brigger. So we had a first-time picture.
Oh, really?
John Ruffhead. I think he listens to the show.
I don't think he does. I think he just chimes in every now and then.
So.
He's too busy, sitting at the back of the cheap seats at Shielfield Park.
Yeah, being ginger.
Whining at being ginger,
Just being ginger all over the place. Ugh.
You don't need that.
But he said Independence Day, the season movies, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Generic answer.
But then he said Keira Knightley in Pirates of the Caribbean 3. I think he was joking.
No, but that's not a bad speech.
Probably better than the whole movie.
He's also he's tweeted to us to say Full Metal Jacket as well.
He said Al Pacino Any Given Sunday as well.
He also said Beyonce from Goldmember. No, he said that was your number one.
That was my number one, apparently, yeah. Hayes said what was it, With Neil and I?
Yeah, the Richard E. Grant.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll give it a watch. I don't know what it's about or anything, but I'll give it a watch.
This is about two dudes getting pissed any way they can. They get pissed to get high. At one point, they drink lighter fluid. There's like a drinking game that you can do with it online, and I don't suggest you do it. Like, you drink what they drink, and I don't suggest you do it. I remember seeing a video on YouTube where a bunch of students played the With Neil and I drinking game.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. But we did have a request.
What about the Free Trade B team?
They didn't really get involved with this one.
I'm not surprised.
But then, I messaged them this morning, but it was like at 9 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
Which is early for a Sunday, so they kind of ignore me.
To be fair, is it Aaron? It would have been something from Britney Spears' Crossroads, because he's of that age.
He is of that age. Then I quite like the lad, so I would have had to tell him to fuck off if he'd said that. So, yeah.
Maybe that's why he
it's
didn't comment.
probably best. It's probably best. But yeah, we did have a request from Paul Byrne. He, like I said, he wanted a monologue from Robert Downey Jr., but he doesn't really do any.
In that, no.
He does one...
It's sort of one-liners, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of one-liners, which doesn't really count as a monologue.
No.
There's one where he's like saying, I'm going to cook some greens.
Yeah.
And all that. It's a bit shit. So, as monologues go, again, it's going to be a bit sweary. I'll see if I can find the place here.
I do like when he's... When he says something about, my God, don't you ever break character? I don't break character until I've done DVD commentary.
There's another one where what's the booty sweat guy called in it?
Oh,
and
Christ.
he calls him a Negro and Robert Downey Jr. slaps him in the face and then hugs him and he goes, 400 years. We've been struggling in that word. And yeah.
This is okay, Flaming Dragon, fuckface. First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face! Now, I don't know what kind of pan-Pacific bullshit power play you're trying to pull here, but Asia Jack is my territory. So whatever you're thinking, you better think again. Otherwise, I'm going to have to head down there, and I will rain down on a godly fucking firestorm upon you. You're going to have to call the fucking United Nations and get a fucking binding resolution to keep me from fucking destroying you. I am talking scorched earth, motherfucker. I will massacre you. I will fuck you up!
That's superb. That's so fucking good. Do you think when he was doing that scene that he was like sort of channeling, you can't handle the truth?
I think he was thinking, the coin has flipped. This is my Jack Nick moment. Because Jack Nick delivering it, innit?
Tom Cruise absolutely nails that role.
I'm with the masses on this one. Like, I know a lot of people say it. I'm completely with the masses on this one. I didn't fucking realise it was Tom Cruise.
You didn't realise it was him? Get out.
It wasn't until probably that scene, because that's the second time we see him. But the first time you see him when he's like, where's a fucking grip on this movie? And he's going around the screen, he's like...
punch him really hard.
Goes, punch him really fucking hard in the face. Yeah. Did not click until later on, and I was sitting there and I was like, it's fucking Tom Cruise. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
As cameos go, that's got to be one of the best cameos ever.
It is, but he kind of ruined it when he hosted the MTV Awards as Les Goodman.
Did he? Oh, I didn't know that.
It wasn't very good.
I don't know, it's the fucking MTV
Awards. It was still good, but it was like, it's the MTV Awards.
Couldn't swear.
You can't say fuck, fuckity, fuck. And...
So there you go, Paul Byrne. We've played the clip for you. He loves that movie.
Will we just say that is the Free Trade B Team answer? Entry.
We'll just say that, yeah. Ignorant pricks didn't get involved, so, you know.
Nah, motherfuckers.
So Paul Byrne can speak for them tonight. So that's been our top 5 monologues. It's been a long time coming.
It has been.
I'm quite happy with that.
We've been talking about that one for a while.
Yeah, I've wanted to do that for a while. I think the only other one that I've been speaking about longer is the wrestling top 5. But I don't know what format that's going to take.
We kind of have plans for that, though.
We do.
Sort of, somewhere in the future.
But again, like we spoke about wrestling intros.
Yeah.
We were actually going to do it, and then another damn wrestling show did it the same week, so they kind of ruined it for us.
So we are going to move on to what I have been dying to do for days now. We're going to move on to our Deadpool.
Yeah.
Massive spoiler review. Although...
It's not a movie with major spoilers, is it? There's no Han Solo being stabbed or anything.
Whoa.
What?
Some people haven't seen Star
If you've not seen the movie by now, fuck off.
But first...
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum!
Astro Radio Z is a horror, cult, exploitation film podcast hosted by me, Derek Carey. I was one of those monster kids growing up. The one that used to sit in the back end of that video store and scour over every single last film cover you saw back there. From the slashers to the monsters to the sleazy stuff. Yeah, I was freaking obsessed. And I still am. So much so I became a filmmaker myself. Now I bring on all my filmmaker friends, critics, musicians, and any other fans of the dark arts, which are horror, exploitation, and cult film. Are you one of these people? Then tune in and listen to my show, Astro Radio Z.
Love that promo as well.
Hey, yeah, I want to shoot, baby.
Packed in your stack, especially in the back, brother. Wanna thank your mother for a butt like that.
Hey, I wanna shoot, baby. Nah, still not feeling it. Still not feeling it.
Not when you do it, no.
You know what it is, though, right? See, at the end of the movie, that song plays during the credits. And there was a guy sat next to me who pretty much gave me the face you just gave me when I'd done that. Because as the credits were playing, I'm sitting there going, shotgun bang, what's up with that thing? I want to know, how does it hang? You know, because I love the song.
Wow.
And the guy's like looking at me like...
Yeah, you see, the reason when we all sat down, there was 5 of us went to the cinema to see it, and we all sat down, and I was on one end of it, and Kev was on one end of it, the other end, of like the group of 5 seats. Paul Byrne, who we previously mentioned, he was like Nick walking in behind you,
right?
And as you sat down, he kind of kept on walking and sat down beside me, and he said, "I'm not fucking sitting next to Kev."
Why?
Because, well, he said he'll never shut up during the movie.
I don't think I spoke once. I laughed a few times.
But then you're probably sat there grazing on whatever fucking half the food of the cinema that you'd bought.
I did admit a bit of a missed foul here. For people who ever want to buy nachos at the cinema, don't get the guacamole. It is fucking rancid. I said to the woman that I wanted the salsa, like the normal nacho dip, and she gave me guacamole. Is that because it's a Deadpool thing, or like did you just have?
I think she was maybe just a moron.
Yeah, she did. She had a bit of a mongy face, to be fair.
Well, they all did.
I thought it was just like an Edinburgh thing, but it turns out it might not be.
I think they all. Yeah.
That's us lost our 2 Edinburgh listeners. We went to see Deadpool. Just before we jump in, overall feelings.
I absolutely loved it. Start to finish, loved it.
Yep. You made a comment to Burn how you said that it was. What did you say? Like it's...
my initial reaction when the end credits rolled was what I actually said at the time was that was better than Avengers Assemble.
Right.
I've kind of rethought that.
Really?
I think it's up there with Avengers Assemble, maybe not better.
I don't know where I would put it on the grand scheme of things. I do think it's probably one of the most, not perfect, but I think it's one of the best Marvel properties out there. And I think it's 100%. I fucking love this movie. I love this movie before we even went to see it.
Yeah.
I loved the marketing was incredible. Ryan Reynolds has been slaying it. He's been pimping it like a motherfucker. He's had the Twitter account with Deadpool. Have you seen who he only follows one person?
Right.
Deadpool on Twitter.
Spider-Man. No.
Deadpool on Twitter follows one person.
Right.
Hello Kitty. Is that not just
awesome?
The fucking movie. Before we even went to the movie, the trailers were incredible.
They were.
All the trailers were incredible. The fact that they had Shoop Shoop A Doop as the theme tune sold me straight away because I love that song. Just everything about what they did leading up, the testicular cancer campaigns, and then
that was awesome.
When he was on about women feeling their breasts and all that for breast cancer. Only Deadpool's getting away with this shit. Absolutely fucking nailed it. And then we sat down to watch it, and I was for a second sitting there thinking, right, here comes the disappointment.
Aye.
I didn't have time to get it, to be fair.
Well, that's the thing. It was, the opening credits, which were fucking awesome, by the way.
Awesome. It's the best way to open it. It was their way of saying, this movie's a joke, this movie's a piss take.
Yeah.
Definitely, 100%.
The opening credits it was like a car crash in slow motion.
Yeah.
And it was like a sort of 3D camera kind of thing, like panning round the car crash. And as soon as it got to the bit where Deadpool was like giving a wedgie to the guy in the motorbike, I was like, this movie is gonna absolutely rock.
And you saw the Green Lantern trading card.
Yes.
And what was it? Directed by some tool bag.
Mm-hmm. I think the only ones that they actually paid a compliment to was the writers.
Yeah,
and it was the real heroes here, and it was like the British villain, the hot chick.
Honestly, man, just the opening credits, like you say, sold you from word go. They had all the little nuggets in there, like did they not have the Ryan Reynolds magazine, Sexiest Man Alive 2010 or something like that? And we will get to more of that because the movie does not stop with references. Like Deadpool, as we know, breaks the fourth wall. We know that's a shtick, I don't think he broke the fourth wall as much as I was hoping, but the references within the movie were completely fourth wall breaking.
Yeah.
Just everything in
there. I think if he'd been stopping every couple of minutes to speak to the audience, I think that would have put me off a bit.
I think you're right. You're completely right.
Because it's not a comic book where he can just have a panel and have a little monologue to himself where he's speaking to the reader. It's a movie, so you've got to keep the narrative going. Mm-hmm. And it did that fucking perfectly.
Never really stopped. It
didn't stop, no.
I read a review the other day where this guy was saying, there were really kind of bits where it slows down and gets really boring. I never once thought this movie got boring.
I would say the only bit where it slowed down was when they were doing the romance between Deadpool or
But there was enough in there that really kept you interested.
It didn't.
I mean, I'll be completely honest with you. Morena Baccarin, I'm not a huge fan. I wasn't keen on her in Homeland.
I like her. I think she's a good actress. And I think she was brilliant in this movie as well.
She was brilliant in this, 100%. I 100% agree. She kind of makes me want to watch Gotham again. I'm tempted to give it another go.
So have you given up on that?
I've not given up on it. I'm just taking my time with it.
It's off my planner. I've deleted it. It's dead to me. But anyway,
her performance in that. I mean, let's just before we dip into the movie, let's just talk about some of the actors in that. I mean, Ryan Reynolds, we've covered. He was phenomenal.
Yes, he was.
He was better than expected. But then this has been a complete labour of love for the man. We knew X-Men Oranges might have been a terrible movie. See the way I don't even say Origins anymore?
Yeah.
I was trying to tell Lindsay the other day, I kept on trying to tell her about X-Men Origins, and I kept saying Oranges. And she was like, is it actually called X-Men Oranges? Because she kept laughing at me. I'm like, what are you laughing at? And she's like, is it actually called X-Men Oranges? I was like, no, it's not. That movie is a shower of shite. But Ryan Reynolds in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, the bit before he kind of
yeah.
showed his face up. And
Which
stuff.
they completely take the piss out of in this movie. You got everything you hoped for.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, let's talk about some of our favourite references then.
Yeah.
There was the reference to the Wolverine movie where when he's in the experiment facility place.
Yeah, he was dropping them all over.
They dropped Green Lantern references.
Yep. When he says, I'm going to sew your pretty mouth shut.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing that. But then later, or was it before that? Maybe they had an action figure.
Oh, and he says something about his most prized possession.
Yeah,
and then it cuts to the
action figure of the one from Wolverine Oranges,
which I was not expecting to see that, and it totally caught me off guard to the point where I was taking a little sip at the time, and a little bit of juice came out my nose because. Of all the things I wasn't expecting, that was one of them. There was a lot of things I wasn't expecting, but that was just awesome. They took the piss out of Green Lantern a ton. They kind of get a Blade reference in there. But it's Blade 2 they take the piss out of. But I think that's more to do with the CGI at the start of the movie.
CGI, yeah.
One gripe I had with Deadpool, there is one scene, or maybe two scenes, where there was a bit of dodgy CGI when he was jumping around the cars, chasing down Ed Skrein on the motorbike.
Right.
And instantly I thought of Blade 2. In my head, I was kind of like, did they do that on purpose as a sort of reference?
See, the number of references in that movie, I wouldn't put it past them to do that on purpose.
Mr. Sunday Movies, have you seen the video he done?
No.
It's called 100 Easter eggs hidden in the Deadpool movie.
Right.
He counts about 110 by the end of it, because there's more than he thought. And I kind of I didn't want to watch the whole thing, because I wanted to kind of... I want to do our review first, and then I'll go back and watch it. You've got your characters, you've got Colossuses in there, Negasonics in there. They keep dropping X-Men references left, right, and centre. When he says, we're going to take you to the Professor.
Yes,
and he's like, which
I
one?
love that line.
Stuart or McAvoy?
Yeah. It's hard to tell what the timelines are or something.
Genius,
man. I love that bit.
And then
absolutely love that bit.
Later on, they kind of fire another shot when he goes to the mansion, and he's kind of like... Isn't it funny how every time I come here, there's only two of you? Almost like the studio couldn't afford another X-Men.
Yeah.
Genius. Absolutely loved it. I'm not up on the X-Men. I don't know a great deal apart from what's in the movies.
Pretty much, yeah, same.
But Negasonic, is that an actual character? Because
I'm assuming so.
That's a fucking random name. I do love the name. It's when he says, what the shit, that's the coolest nickname ever. That's cool. That was awesome.
I'm assuming that she's a real character. I mean...
I'd like to think so.
They wouldn't make up a character for a movie. It'll be a real character.
But they crack all the X-Men jokes, and they have two X-Men in it, obviously. Colossus, finally, a Colossus that actually looks good. Because I'm sure
he did look good, and he was pretty badass.
He was pretty badass. He was in X-Men 2, and I'm sure he was in X-Men 3, and I'm pretty sure they used him in Days of Future Past. It was nice to see a Colossus that they nailed. They got it right. And by the way, this movie was made on a $55 million dollar budget. $55 million. That's nothing anymore. Do not think it shows.
I didn't expect that at all. I thought it'd be 100 million or something like that.
I kind of thought it was sitting on maybe an Iron Man kind of budget, it's on a proper budget.
Yeah.
But no, it was 55 million, and so far I was reading something this morning that is basically saying that the director has said that when they make a second one, because by the way they're making a second one, spoilers, he has said that if they offer him 125 million, he's turning it down flat. He doesn't want a big budget again.
I did throw the when I was speaking to somebody about this in the pub on Friday night, and I did throw the Channing Tatum line in 22 Jump Street.
Right.
When they say we're giving you twice the budget to make double the money, and he goes, like that ever works.
yeah, and it looks like that director, is it Tim Miller? I don't know,
I'm shite with names,
he's pretty much a first time director. He's made a couple of shorts, which again is impressive as fuck. This guy's made a couple of short movies, he's been given Deadpool, and he's done such a fucking amazing job with it. I wasn't expecting this to be as good as it was. I kind of thought it's going to be funny because Ryan Reynolds is in it. He's making up for the shit show that was Wolverine Oranges. He's making up for the shit show that was Green Lantern, Blade 3. But I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was.
I'd probably agree with you there. I mean, This is actually one of the few movies where I actually read reviews on it. Most of the time, like Star Wars, I avoided that like the fucking plague. I didn't want to read anything about it. I didn't want to watch any trailers. Nothing. But with Deadpool, I have to say, like, the movie, the story, it's a nice, simple story.
Yeah.
There's no major sort of plot points that we could spoil here, really.
No, there's not.
It's not. You're not going there for a sort of complicated story or anything. No. You're going there for a load of movie references, a shitload of laughs, a shitload of swear words,
it's just
a shitload of sex scenes,
pop culture all over,
including a guy being done up the ass with a dildo for, what was it, National Women's Rights Day or something like that.
That was pretty cool. I loved it when he kind of went, oh.
And then, no.
So basically, we'll get into the movie and then we'll come back to characters. Like, Ryan Reynolds is Wade Wilson, as we know. He's an ex-mercenary sort of thing, and he's kind of doing odd jobs for people.
Yeah, he's kind of like a sort of private eye type fella.
Well,
he's like part of a crew, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got the bar where they have like his little gang, and they have the Deadpool, which is like a betting system to see who's going to die next.
Yeah.
And I read somewhere that the opening scene with the pizza guy is like ripped straight from the comics.
Right, I
like,
can believe that completely.
It's kind of panel to screen, straight there. Yeah, that was a pretty cool scene. I like that.
Yeah,
because he kind of goes in, and I wasn't expecting him to be after the pizza guy, but he's still kind of mugging off the other guy. So he's like, he's shown that, I'm here to take this guy out, but fuck you, you're not having your say.
I'm going to take your wallet anyway because, well, you gave it to me.
He does. He says that you gave it to me, so technically it's not stealing. And when you get to the bar, you meet TJ Miller from Silicon Valley.
He was absolutely spot on.
I do think you saw all of his best moments in the trailers.
You did, yeah.
But there was still enough to make you think, oh, he's amazing. I can't wait to see him again. I said to you, and I think, which just totally shows how much of a film fucking idiot I am. When he said that there's a guy at the back there looking for you, and he says, I don't know, he might further the plot.
Yeah.
I was very, very conscious that in the area I was sat, there was nobody laughing at that. Like, it felt like I was the only one that gave a little chuckle to that. Like I say, there was a guy sat beside me who clearly thought I was an idiot, because he kept looking at me at times when I was laughing. It gave me a little chuckle. I was like, I fucking love when they do stuff like that. Like, Kevin Smith does that sort of the best.
But then, I mean, he went over there and he spoke to the guy and he made, like, chitty chitty bang bang references.
He's calling him a paedophile
He was
left, right, and centre.
calling him a paedophile. He was calling him Agent Smith.
Oh, there was loads.
Ah, man.
He was just dropping them all over.
That's that's one of the things that I said to you in the car on the way back. The writing in it was very, very sort of Joss Whedon-y, like sort of snappy and quick and fucking funny.
I'm going to put
a lot of it reminded me of just sort of some of the dialogue in Buffy.
Yeah.
Forget, not vampires or anything, but just like the dialogue between the characters.
He delivers it beautifully. He delivers everything amazingly. I hope to God he was writing some of that shit. Now, I would like to think he was kind of behind the camera a little bit on some of it.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that he wasn't just a fan of this shit that wanted to get it made and did everything, because he's pretty much come out and said 100% that it was either him or the director that leaked the footage.
Yes.
I would love to think it was him.
I would. Yeah, you can. I think that's why the movie is so good. Is you can tell that everybody involved in it, everybody absolutely loves the fuck out of their job.
There's not a lot of characters who in this movie who kind of have a third dimension. A lot of them are just very flat characters. Apart from Deadpool, apart from Vanessa, TJ Miller's kind of got like a little bit going for himself. But the likes of the bad guys, like Ed Skrein and Gina Carano as Angel Dust, they very much are just what you see is what you get. They're just, I mean, typical British bad guys, what it says at the start, that's what he is. I think Ed Skrein, for the fact that he didn't have a lot to do and he was just there to be a menacing bastard, was fucking awesome. I loved every scene he was in. I wanted more of him, and I couldn't believe how good a job he did.
I did spend half the movie thinking, is that Nicholas Hoult?
He's Ed Skrein's. He was in The Sweeney with Ray Winston.
Yeah, he told me that.
Yeah, he did Plan B's movie. Plan B directed a movie. If you ever want to watch a movie where Ed Skrein shows exactly what you can do, It's called Ill Manners. Phenomenal. He's a complete asshole bastard.
I've heard of that.
He's a horrible, horrible bastard in the movie, but he's acting like a bastard. He's fantastic. I love that film. I love him in it. I would say that like his dialogue and his pages of character were probably three pages long.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't notice it while I was watching it.
I just
it didn't
thought he
take me
killed
out of the movie thinking,
No.
This bad guy's a bit shit.
It doesn't, because but that's what I mean. He's such a basic character, but I think he plays it so amazingly.
Yeah.
A little bit over the top at times, but that's what you kind of need in a Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
He's just fantastic. I wasn't, on the freeway at the start, you kind of have that battle. Because, by the way, if you think we're going to spoil any battles in this movie, any fights in this movie, we can't because they were in the trailer.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, the first act of the movie is the battle
on the freeway,
and sort of the build-up and development of the character. This is all the first act of the movie, really. All taking place and going back and forward with a really timey-wimey. But it worked. It absolutely worked. I didn't think at any point, like, oh, just fuck off and show me it.
No.
Show me the battle. I didn't think that at all.
No, it didn't. I think it moved at a nice pace. Like you say, flip-flop, flip-flop, flip-flop. I like the flip-flopping, if I'm honest with you. Sometimes I like a movie that does that. I really do. I do. And it was a nice way to figure out how he became who he was, who the love of his life was, and what was going to happen next. Like, it all kind of takes place, apart from the flashbacks, in like a day.
Yeah.
It's not a long period of time.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. The first act is building up the character and this battle, which sort of culminates in a fucking funny as hell fight between Deadpool and Colossus.
Yep.
Which, I mean, oh man.
When he's breaking the hands.
When he's breaking his hands and making T-Rex jokes. And, and then he and just awesome. when he sort of said that, have you seen 127 hours? Spoilers, and then cuts his arm off, and then the arm is like still handcuffed to Colossus, and it swings around and it's flipping him off. It's just fucking hilarious, absolutely hilarious.
It never lets up. You kind of have the birth of Deadpool. You see how he becomes who he becomes. Ed Skrein basically makes him in the kind of Weapon X sort of program. It's not Weapon X, but it's like an offshoot of that, isn't it?
Yeah, the thing is, like, I don't know if this is the same. I'm assuming it's the same in the comics.
Yeah.
This is how the character comes about. They kind of inject him with like a mutant thingy.
Yeah.
And they basically have to torture him until his body reacts to it.
Yeah.
That's how the character's created.
I'm assuming it's. I've not read a lot of Deadpool. I've read some Deadpool.
Honestly, I've not read any, but I actually kind of want to know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I bought the game on the Xbox One.
You buy it, did you?
I actually bought it on the way back down. I started playing it on Friday night, and yeah, it's really funny. It's really funny.
You meet the characters. He's got a wise old black woman who he lives with, who is just so fucking cool. And I love that line when he's kind of like, she's kind of in love with me. He says she's a little bit in love with me, but she's kind of like my Robin, only she's old, black, and blind, and kind of in love with me. And she's like, but then again, Robin's in love with Batman, I think. Just stuff like that. But
the one that got me was
the little hand.
Just before the little hand,
right.
Where they're sort of sat on the couch just before the little hand bit, where she sort of says to him, love is blind, and he goes, no, you're blind. And it's just a little cheeky line like that, and I was fucking sat there pissing myself.
Again, though, it's just the way Reynolds does it. It's the way he delivers every line. He just smashes this movie. I sat there trying to think of things that I could say wrong with this movie. Like, I thought, I can't just do a review where I'm just going to totally fillet the movie. There's nothing else I can do. I can knock what comes next. For the movie it was, I absolutely loved it. And I thought, as a Marvel product, as a Marvel project, and I know it was like Fox that made it, it's the best thing Marvel have for me. I prefer it to what's going on in the MCU. Only thing is, it can't connect. It can't connect with anything else.
No. I think
Deadpool's...
Well, they're on about doing an X-Men crossover, but...
It can't... It cannot...
You have to have that as its own property, as a piss-take movie.
Exactly. How does Deadpool go into X-Men with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine when he's done nothing but talk about Hugh Jackman?
Yeah,
playing
when you've
Wolverine?
got a photo of a magazine photo of Hugh Jackman as Hugh Jackman.
That is awesome.
Stapled to his face at the end of the
awesome.
movie. That was another fucking awesome scene. Yeah, it was. It was.
But
you can't have him going into X-Men Apocalypse 2 or whatever.
Aye.
You just can't.
And he can't be going in there and be like... Somebody was saying that they might try and shoehorn him into Gambit when that comes out.
Right.
Again, how does he go into that and reference the fact that Deadpool's in a Gambit movie? Because then it completely tears apart.
Well, it takes you out of the fact that you're in an X-Men movie.
It takes you out
and that's
of
what
everything.
I thought of when I saw that before on Facebook. It's the highest grossest X-Men movie.
Yeah. It's not.
I know it's got X-Men in it, and it makes references to X-Men. It's not an X-Men. It's not an X-Men movie.
Nah.
It's not. It's just not.
For me, it's not. It's just I keep seeing all these things where it's like, oh, now they're going to make an R-rated Wolverine movie. They're going to.
Yeah, they've
missed the point.
That's the thing now is, are R-rated movies back? Are they back? And
if they think that's the way to do it, they have completely missed the point. If I now sit down and watch Wolverine 3, because even though the last two have been crap, if I now sit down and watch Wolverine 3, which I will, if he's sitting there ripping people apart, yeah, I'm going to be chuffed. I'm going to love that. But then if in the next scene he's cracking jokes, I'm going to be like, what?
But you don't have to, just because it's rated, well, it'll be 15 here.
Yeah.
So you know that beggars the question, like, what the hell's an 18 in America?
Oh, I think to get an 18 you have to say fuck once.
Oh dear.
I know.
Never that. Anyway, but just because it's rated 15 doesn't mean to say you have to be making jokes and stuff.
No, you don't have to be making jokes, but they seem to think that now this is the formula, like Deadpool has
No,
the
it's
formula.
not the formula, it's because it's worked once and so there's a bunch of fucking bandwagon fucks.
Aye.
That's all it is.
I mean, even the guy who created Spawn, he's now come out and says, oh, well, by the way, I've got a Spawn script. And he thinks he's going to make a Spawn movie now, like rated R. I want to see more darker, grimier superhero movies. But at the end of the day...
But then you've got a whole catalogue of DC movies that are coming out that's going to be dark and grimy.
This is the thing. You've got DC movies coming out that are going to be dark and grimy. Man of Steel was quite dark and grimy. The Dark Knight trilogy was quite dark and grimy. They're all 12s.
Yeah.
So why they don't need to be rated R. You just need to be clever with what you're doing. Like,
well, that's the thing. I mean, in The Dark Knight, the Joker put a guy's head through a pencil.
Mm-hmm. But the way the way Nolan does it, the quick shot of you not actually seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the knife in the guy's mouth, and then you see from behind, and then you hear the noise, and instantly you think what happened.
Yeah.
Like, that's all you have to do. You don't need to see him cutting somebody's head off and then roundhousing it into someone else.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what you need.
But in Deadpool, you did need to see it.
Deadpool, you did need that, because that's what Deadpool's about. But if people now turn around and say, right, we're going to make an R-rated fucking Batman movie, it's not a movie I want to see, if I'm honest.
No, I don't. I don't need to see that.
Nah.
At all.
I'm not even sure I'd be... A 15 at a push I'd be alright with. I don't need an R-rated or an 18 Batman. It's not what I need. I don't need them to take the MCU and start throwing a dose of violence in there because Deadpool did well.
No.
I don't need that.
That's all it is. It's just a bandwagon thing.
Aye.
That's all it is. So who else have we got in the movie then? We talked about Ryan Reynolds and...
Ed Screen's awesome. Gina Carano didn't really bother me. She was the one that played Angel Dust with the mullet.
She was okay.
Kind of looked like a bit of a man.
She was alright.
She was alright. She did what she was there to do, so, fair
You
dues.
could have had, like, Ronda Rousey in there or something.
Oh, fuck Ronda Rousey. Fuck Ronda Rousey.
Rebel Wilson.
Have you seen the video that's going around? It's like a meme of her on Ellen DeGeneres, and she's like saying something about, and if I don't have this title belt or whatever, and she's like, who am I and what do I really have? And then Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob SquarePants comes on the screen, and he's like, I want to hear your sad story. Let me play the world's smallest violin for you. Yeah, I thought it was funny as hell when I watched it. But But yeah.
Okay.
So Gina Carano was quite good in it. Didn't really have much to do. She did the superhero jump, though.
She did.
That was awesome as well, when he's sitting there going, she's going to do the superhero jump, she's going to do the superhero jump. You know, like, you just can't talk about this movie without talking about the pop culture references, because they're just laced through the movie everywhere.
I mean,
you just can't do
you
it.
could, like, you could sort of not have watched the movie in a year and still pick up references.
Yeah.
You know.
Even the post-credits, because, spoilers, there's post-credits, he does the Ferris Bueller's Day Off when he comes out in the dressing gown. You've seen Ferris Bueller, haven't you?
Yeah.
And he comes out and he's kind of like, go on, the movie's finished. It's finished, go.
And then,
oh, that was just phenomenal. I was just like, oh, man. Because you've got to squeeze one more in there, and that's the best one. Fucking.
See, I'd read that there was going to be a Wolverine post-credit scene, but
we didn't get one. No, we didn't get one. Instead, he tells us that Cable's going to be in the next one. And I
don't know fuck all about Cable. He's in the game apparently, so I need to play the game.
I quite like his cast choices. Was it not like Mel Gibson,
Keira Knightley,
and then like the next day, somebody's done a picture online of Keira Knightley as Cable, and I'm sitting there going, cast her now. Because it looked fucking awesome. I was like, I'd buy Keira Knightley as that.
I'd like Keira Knightley in there. Yeah, have they actually cast the guy from Avatar? Or
I don't think they've cast him. I think he's just campaigning hard.
I did actually see a picture of him and a picture of Ron Perlman.
Perlman could be alright.
Get Perlman in there.
Perlman needs to do Hellboy 3. We need Hellboy 3.
That's never going to happen.
It's not, but we need it. Stephen Lang, the guy from Avatar, when they put a picture, because I was kind of like, I was like, can't really stand Avatar, and Terra Nova fell on its arse. So I was kind of like, you know. But then when they showed a picture of him beside Cable, I was kind of like, you know what? Put a few pounds on, you're going to look pretty fucking badass as Cable. He would. So now he must be campaigning hard for it. But I think that's pretty much because the fans want him to do it.
Yeah. Fair play.
I think he'd be pretty good.
Fair enough.
What did you think about the little side story that we had going? We only got like 2 or 3 scenes of it. Dopinder the cab driver. I mean, that was some of the best stuff in the movie.
Yeah, that was where. Yeah, I mean, they had the 2 X-Men in the back, so he was trying to not say it, and then he was like, "You know what you need to do? Kill him." You know, and then she knows what you wanted to do. Kidnap her. It was just fucking brilliant.
When he says, I did what you said, Mr. Poole, and he turns around to Colossus, he's like, I 100% did not tell him to do that. I'm so proud of you. He's just fucking awesome, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then you got the little payoff when he forgot his guns again, and the guy driven into the back of him anyway.
But you also got they were in the Hello Kitty bag.
Hello Kitty. Apparently Deadpool's all about Hello Kitty.
Apparently so, yeah, apparently so. I didn't know that.
And we had... Okay, let's just... Favourite part of the movie.
Shit.
Because mine is a complete standout. I could not fucking stop laughing. 10 minutes later, I was still laughing thinking about it.
I think my favourite part of the movie was the fight near the start versus Colossus.
That was a good fight. That was a fucking good fight.
Where he's got 2 hands broken and an ankle broken, and he's going about with his hands flopping about, and he makes the T-Rex. I can't remember what the T-Rex joke was, but I said that to you after we came out of the cinema. Like, you'll watch that movie 5-10 times, and you'll still hear new stuff. When you end of last year, I started watching The Sopranos from the start.
Yeah,
and I still hear lines in The Sopranos that I've never heard before. And this movie's like that. You'll watch that movie countless times, and you'll still hear new stuff.
100% agree with you.
But I think that was my favourite bit when he was fighting Colossus.
Mine was when the movie caught up with itself, and he says, "Well, you all know what happened here," and it fast forwards, but it quickly stops, and he's masturbating with a My Little Pony in his hand. Oh my god! Just the image of Ryan Reynolds lying in bed wanking with a fucking My Little Pony in his hand. It's something that I've not been able to get out of my head since, and it's the way he kind of goes, "Oh, you're not meant to see that."
Yeah.
And then he carries on. Just that quick little flash. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, fair enough. Aye, fair enough.
About 20 minutes later, I still had a fucking, I was almost convulsing with laughter. I was just like, fucking losing my shit. What do you make of the character who wasn't supposed to be in it, and they snuck in it.
Was that Bob?
They were in all sorts of trouble. Like I didn't know who Bob was. I didn't know who he was, but after watching it, it was kind of like that meant something.
So is Bob the guy who was playing Gallagher in Avengers or something?
No. He's a character called Hydra Bob. He works for Hydra,
right?
Because something about they've got like good dental plan, so he works for Hydra. But they say that you can't have a Deadpool story without Hydra Bob turning up,
right?
But apparently technically they don't have the rights to Hydra Bob. It's obviously owned by Marvel, so they couldn't use him. But one of the producers on Deadpool must have been a producer on the X-Men movies, so he knew the ins and outs of the deal that Marvel had made, and he was able to sneak him in there, basically. But apparently Stan Lee's not too chuffed.
Oh.
But then again, Stan Lee had a fucking cameo in
I think that was probably one of the best cameos he's done. Probably the best Stan Lee cameo, that's another top 5, is the Age of Ultron.
Which one was he in?
When he gets
Ultron?
pissed after the Thor juice. Excelsior. The Thor juice.
I wouldn't mind getting pissed on Thor juice.
Yeah, I read about that, but then they've also got the Shield helicarrier in there as well.
That was definitely a helicarrier.
It was
definitely 100%. I didn't know who Hydra Bob was. I had no idea who Bob was. But when I saw that scene, I was like, nah. I was like, that fucking meant something. Like that scene, it's in keeping with the movie.
Yeah.
In the fact that he stops mid battle to reference somebody he knows. You know, like it's in keeping with the movie. But I was like, that means something. So I went and did a bit of reading up and all that. But apparently, shit's kicking off now.
But they've not actually called him Hydra Bob.
They didn't call him Hydra Bob, they just called him Bob.
Yeah.
But they reckon that it's definitely him, and they maybe broke a little rule by using him.
Fuck's sake. Wouldn't it be great if people weren't so pissy and stuff?
Well, exactly. Then we could have the movies that we want.
Yeah. I actually wouldn't mind seeing a scene with Deadpool and Spider-Man.
You could totally do that.
It's not going to happen. It'll not happen.
It won't.
I would quite like to see that.
It won't, but it would be kick-ass. It would be kick-ass. Negasonic, Teenage Negasonic Warhead. I actually thought she was one of the highlights of the movie. Didn't have a great deal to do.
Yeah, I think she was good.
She was an absolute highlight, and I love the way he kept calling her Sinead O'Connor, and then he said that line when he's like, look, nothing compares to you. It feels like you're just mentioning pop culture references that he makes in the movie, but that's all he does in the movie.
Yeah.
Every fucking scene. It's brilliant.
And that's why I was sat there thinking, like, you know, it reminded me a lot of Joss Whedon's writing.
Yeah.
There was a bit where he was sat speaking to the Agent Smith guy, and he goes, "It's a bit shake weighty."
Aye.
And I thought, just the fact that you describe something by adding EY onto the end, that's just Joss Whedon. You know,
it's good. It's good. I love the film. I love the film. I 100% can't wait to see another one.
Yes.
I do think people need to fuck off with this R-rated as the new thing. It's not the new thing.
It's not. It's just, as I said before, it's just this is working.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
This movie absolutely worked, but it worked because, like you said earlier, it had a director that loved it, wanted to make it. It had the main actor who couldn't have been any more passionate about this movie. I don't think anybody's been in a movie as passionate as they were in this movie. It had a fantastic leading lady who, up until now, I've not really been bothered with her. I'll watch anything with her in it now. I really will. It had a British bad guy who just fucking nailed the performance. Every joke for me, there was a couple that didn't quite hit, but most jokes for me absolutely landed. And the ones that didn't hit were probably the ones that were so fucking referential that, you know... Yeah. It was such a Deadpool in-joke that I'd be sitting there going, meh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, again, when he says to him, when he keeps saying to him, say my name, what's my name? I loved it how he said he was going to spell it out. He says, I'll fucking spell it out for you. And then at the end of the movie, he spells it out for him. Just when he's down at the bottom, he's like, yeah. Honestly, man, this movie, just go and see it. If you haven't...
Yeah, go and see this movie. It's, I mean, you know, Hayes said to us, I think it was when we were doing the Blab.
Yeah.
That he kind of had the sort of superhero movie fatigue a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deadpool will completely cure you of that, Hayes.
It'll pull you back. It will.
And
it'll get you back into the fold. And then we're going to be hit with another fucking 25 Marvel and DC movies for the next couple of years.
There's a cheeky few coming out.
There is a few coming out.
So what? I mean, I know you're looking forward to Batman vs Superman in a minute.
Yep.
So other than Batman vs Superman, what are you looking forward to?
Well, we've got Batman Superman end of March.
Yes.
Which is...
I want to say 26th.
26, yeah. Which is 100% the movie I'm waiting for. There's no two ways about it. I know you take the piss out of me. I know Dev's having a good time taking the piss out of me. This is the movie I'm waiting for, Batman vs Superman. But we also kind of have Civil War coming this year. I'm not as excited for Civil War as I am for Batman vs Superman.
So, yeah, well, I mean, I'm excited for Civil War. I mean, I'm a Marvel whore, as you know. So
well, my thing with that is we've had 7 years of Marvel. I've been forthcoming with Marvel the whole way through. Every time they release a new title, I'm up for it. I was more up for Guardians of the Galaxy than you were. I was probably more up for Ant-Man than you were. You know, I love what Marvel does. But for me, I've always been a Batman fan. I've always been Batman. So now that DC's getting a crack at the whip, I just want them to do it well.
Yeah.
I don't want them to fail. I want them to do it amazingly.
I do want it to be a good movie.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? I rewatched Man of Steel a couple of weeks ago, and I love Man of Steel. I'm just worried about this movie. But, I mean, there's no way in hell I'm not going to see it.
No.
I'm looking forward to Civil War more because they're bringing Spider-Man back and all that.
My thing with Civil War, though, is that you got me to read the graphic novels, and I read them, and I love them, and the story's fucking massive.
Yeah, it's not going to be that, though.
That's not the story we're getting.
It's not going to be that.
It's not the story we're getting. I mean, hopefully they just put as much in as they possibly can, and it's fucking amazing. X-Men Apocalypse could not give two shits about. I will not be going to the cinema to see that. I'll probably be Netflixing it. August Suicide Squad. I cannot wait to see that, and I know you're more excited after the new clip that I posted on Facebook earlier.
Oh yeah,
is that you totally sold?
That's me totally sold.
Dev's still not sold. Gambit, couldn't give two shits about. Yeah. It's got Tatum in it. I might watch it. Doctor Strange.
You know, that is going to be the surprise of the year.
You think so?
Yes.
What, Gambit?
No, not fuck Gambit. Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Everybody's going to be blown away by that movie, I think.
I'm hoping
it's Cumberbatch.
So. I'm hoping so.
It's Cumberbatch. It's going to happen.
For this year, I'm still putting my money on Batman Superman. I am. But I do think Doctor Strange, of everything that's been coming out recently...
You know, when they take a risk, that's when Marvel do their best stuff.
Exactly.
So, it's another thing where, you know, Ant-Man, I didn't know fuck all about it. Guardians, I didn't know fuck all about it. Doctor Strange, I don't know fuck all about it. So, they're taking a risk with the movie, which means they've got more sort of leeway. Is it the last movie before Avengers? Infinity War?
No, we've got Thor
all right, okay.
And Black Panther after that.
Is Spider-Man
and Spider-Man
going to be in Avengers?
Wow, so we're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movies before we get the next Avengers. That's a new one. And then we've got Wolverine 3, which as soon as they said we're making Wolverine 3 R-rated, I'm like, I'm out. I'm done.
That's not actually happening though, is it? That's just
apparently it is.
Really?
Apparently it's R-rated.
But isn't it a big story where it's like old man Wolverine and stuff and things?
Well, so he's going to be Mel Gibson.
He's going to be Dexter at the end of...
So we're going to be started. We've got Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which I cannot wait for. Wonder Woman, which I'm dying to see. I still think Gal Gadot is going to be an amazing Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
People are still hating on Gal Gadot. Got the Spider-Man
Again,
movie.
after that last trailer for Batman vs Superman, I'm more on board with her.
Dude, we've got to see her speak. Like, they finally gave her a line. Right. You know, let's hope that's not the only line she has in the movie. We've got the Spider-Man movie, which... It's Marvel. It's in Marvel's
hands. It's a Marvel Spider-Man. It's going to be awesome.
It has to be awesome. Thor, I think, is going to be a piping hot mess when they try and throw the Hulk in there. It's just going to be shit. The Justice League Part 1, can't wait, because it's Justice League. You know where my allegiance lies.
I know.
I am looking forward to every Marvel title on there, but DC's finally having a go. And whereas all these people who love Marvel, and you know, you have every right to love Marvel, but you know what? As a DC fan, as a Batman fan, I gave Marvel every opportunity. I've given them infinite chances, and I've never once turned around and says, that's going to be crap. Not with a Marvel movie. I've not turned around and said, that's going to be shit, because they never are. They're always good.
What, even Iron Man 3?
I said that after the movie.
Okay.
But the amount of people who DC haven't even really started their new universe yet. Okay, they've had Man of Steel. But the amount of people who've turned around and says, oh, Batman vs Superman's gonna be shit. Oh, Suicide Squad's gonna be shit. Oh, they're gonna fuck up the Justice League. Fuck off. Give them a fucking chance. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Give them a chance. Let them make the movie. And then if 2-3 years down the line they've completely fucked up, I'll be the first one to throw my hands up and say, you know what, that didn't go well.
Well, that's all well and good. But don't then put in your first trailer for your movie that's coming out in March, put a fucking CGI bloody Ninja Turtle looking fucking Doomsday in there, which is presumably going to be your big bad. We don't know,
because Marvel's never fucked up like that.
Shut up.
Has Marvel never fucked up like that?
Don't fucking do that. One of the reviews of the trailers that I watched, I think it was maybe Andrew Joe, said of the second trailer, this is how you do a fucking trailer.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't give anything away. It introduces you to the characters. It doesn't give a fucking thing away.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you do a trailer. The first one, that's not how you do a trailer.
I still like the first trailer.
Well, you're wrong.
Apart from the fact that it gives you Act 1, 2 and 3 in sequential order.
Yeah.
Instead of jumping on the fuck DC, let's just give it a fucking chance.
Have you bought your fuck Marvel t-shirt?
I haven't yet. I will be once I've seen Batman vs Superman.
Aye.
And I'll be wearing it to Civil War.
Well, shut the fuck... Wow, okay, alright, okay.
And then after the Justice League, we've got Black Panther, we've got The Flash, we've got The Avengers, Infinity Wars Part 1, Ant-Man and the Wasp, which I'm looking forward to. Definitely, I thought the first Ant-Man was excellent.
Yep.
I'm just going to gloss over The Flash because I still want to see Grant Gustin.
Yeah.
Take on them.
And that's the thing, you're going to be comparing Ezra Miller to Grant Gustin.
Yep.
And, you know...
Well, Ezra Miller's going to be all, like, broody and, like...
Like killing people and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got Aquaman. Time's going to tell on that. I think Brigger's a big fan of Aquaman. Captain Marvel, which it says a lot to me that Marvel has pushed their main woman quite far back, to be honest. Then you got Shazam.
Is that the one with the rock in it?
Time will tell.
Yeah.
Avengers Part 2. Infinity Wars, when the band gets back together. Justice League Part 2, which I'm holding out. I'm holding out. Justice League Part 2 is like the death of Superman.
If you're going to have Death of Superman, then you need to have Doomsday there.
Well, they're building Doomsday up. He's going to be a Batman.
You don't build
Superman.
Doomsday up. It's Doomsday.
You do build him up. He's Phase 1, Phase 2, Doomsday. You got Cyborg and you got Green Lantern, which I couldn't give a fuck about.
Nah.
And let's be completely honest, there's a movie going to be slotted in here somewhere.
It's got to be a Man of Steel 2.
There's going to be a Man of Steel 2 somewhere, but we already know that there's going to be a Batman in there. Affleck's already turned around and confirmed that he's directing a Batman and that DC Warner Brothers want him to do as soon as possible.
You have to wonder what's going to happen to all this if Batman vs Superman flops like fuck.
It's not gonna. It's not gonna. It's not gonna. I think if that movie makes any money, DC's going to be happy because the amount of hatred that's going around about it before it's even released. There's just so many people bad-mouthing Batman vs Superman. And of course we're getting a Turtles movie, which I can't fucking wait to see.
I'll watch that. I will watch that.
Yep. So
the first Turtles movie was a big surprise for me.
It was. This is episode 30.
Episode 30, done and dusted.
Of the 365Flicks podcast. Again, you can find us on iTunes, Stitchers, Twitter, Facebook, blah, 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 blah. Google's, just type in 365Flicks. We're going to be on the Blabs tomorrow night, which is a bit pointless because I'll probably release this sometime in the week. So we won't be on the Blabs tomorrow night.
So we're going to be on the Blabs earlier on this week.
We'll be on the Blabs tomorrow night when we record, but by the time you hear this, it'll be like 3 days' time that we'll be on the Blabs.
Oh. You know what, the world might have ended by then?
Oh, shit, no.
It might have. You never know.
How am I going to listen to the podcast?
Well, we'll still be doing that.
Yeah.
It'll be like John Connor.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So yeah, we're on there. We're going to do our Walking Dead companion show. This has been our news. This has been our top 5 monologues. This has been our Deadpool review. Probably not the best review we've ever done, but how the fuck do you review Deadpool?
That's the thing. There was, it was like, what the fuck do you actually say about Deadpool? Because I mean, it was so good, but it is like, well, what I don't know what the fuck I'm going to say. Just other than it was good.
Marks out of 5.
5.
Right. I'll go 4.32. And so
that's
been episode 30. We will be back for episode 29 tomorrow night.
Yeah, and then we'll be back back again for episode 31, and by the time we get to that, we'll have a new 365 Flicks champion of the world, and it'll be me.
And it won't. So on that note, we cue the music.
Geek Speak.